Time to put the cat out, because he's on the side of ISIS or whatever they used to worry about back in 92. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington, and your song today, part of your weekly series of opening songs. It's a series
of opening songs that have appeared in at least 2 movies in an iconic movie moment.
Well, I know one. Of course, I know the Almost Famous scene.
Yes.
I kind of get the feeling that this has been in movie trailers, too. Chris, you got a second movie?
I got Rushmore. When he's writing, the play, the last play.
That's good.
Yep, that's
Came
the
back
moment.
to the second that you said it. By the way, you love that, because I know as it started, you yelled, I love this fucking song. Yeah, I'm sure you love it as well.
I do.
I'm going to make the case this. The only reason why you love it is that little instrumental as he's starting. That's the whole song.
It's a very simple song.
Very simple. Kind of stays with that lick throughout, and that's the whole point of the song.
And it's like and it makes sense that it would be used in movies because it's something that's like immediately sentimental,
right?
Without being too saccharine, but it's like immediately you're like, I'm having a feeling,
like that Peter Gabriel song.
Yeah, exactly.
What is that song? What hill? There's
Salisbury Hill.
I thought it was Hamburger Hill. I thought it was just a look back at Vietnam. But yeah, that one they used in so many movie trailers. Coming this summer, a boy meets a girl. They kind of like each other, have a fight, and then finally get back together.
Yes.
Make your husband take you to. Okay, enough of that fucking Peter Gabriel.
It's gone.
You don't want to hear that shit again.
Never again.
You'd be like a great lieutenant in a mob. You heard him. Everybody take off their shoes now. That's
exactly that.
That's one of the really funny things in this Dice series, and it's a very funny series. But he's got this guy Milkshake, who's like his, number 2, his guy that he just goes everywhere with Milkshake, and Milkshake immediately gets mad every time Dice gets mad.
I love it.
You know what I mean? So. Like, Dice is always throwing people, just get out of here, right? And then Milkshake is just fucking freaked, like, get out! You heard Dice! Just like immediately. You have this guy who's like literally a wingman.
Yeah.
With you.
And to be that level of upset.
Yeah. Or like Dice would be like, he'd be looking at you, I really like those boots. And then Milkshake would be like, those are great boots. You know what I mean? Just coming over the top and fucking this goddamn Chris Stanley does that shit.
He's
constantly.
Such a milkshake.
Yeah, he's the milkshake in the show.
Love a milkshake.
Good. You need another nickname because you only got 800. You got fucking nicknames like Cher has shoes, man. Just way too many.
It just happens. Things stick to me.
Oh.
No, not like that. Not
like, all right, let's just call you Cum Forehead.
Yeah, that's perfect. It makes sense.
This is another fucking nickname.
Yeah, but this one's good.
Everybody knows Cum Forehead, right?
It's me. Stuff sticks to me because of the cum on the forehead.
It's not even easy to say.
I know.
His name is Chris.
I know. It's worse than Chris. Oh. So anyway, that's the Dice we're playing on Friday. But you got to see the series, and I think it's released this weekend, and all of them come out on the same day, or you can watch them once a week.
Right.
The networks do not know how to deal with human beings anymore. Just watch it like a show, or here's all of them, fucker. Go ahead. I mean, if someone said to me when I was a little kid, here's all the Happy Days. Just do whatever you want.
Do you?
I wouldn't fucking get up. I'd be just like, Fonzie's, I'm staying with him.
It also really makes things difficult for spoilers. Because I don't think anyone knows how to deal between that and social media. There's no way to deal with reading stuff that, I went on Twitter the other night and I don't watch The Walking Dead, so it doesn't mean anything to me. But there were people on Twitter just saying what happened. I was like, I could imagine if you were at work or you had something to do and you had that recording.
On the left coast.
Yeah.
If you're on the left coast, you're just sitting there and on your Twitter feed it pops up. Oh, I can't believe they killed Bill.
Yeah. Bill's
dead. Not Bill.
I'm trying to. I don't even get to say it for another hour and a half. But Bill's dead. But that, this just happens constantly now.
Yeah.
You can't get out of anything.
So between that and the idea of, just because all the episodes are released in one weekend doesn't mean necessarily that you want to spend your weekend that way. But then you run the risk of just reading things or hearing conversations. And there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a friend who has zero respect for the fact that you don't want to have something spoiled. And I had it happen to me very recently where I was, like a movie that had just come out. And I'm like, just give me some time. They're like, let me just tell you this one thing. It's just one thing. It's not a big thing. No, it's all a big thing. It's in the movie. I don't want to. But
here's the other side of this. I don't want to give this fucking spoiler for you or something.
Okay.
You see a movie, you expect to talk to people about it. You just saw the movie.
Yeah.
You want to bring up this part.
But you can't be part of this conversation, Chris, because I don't understand the way he wants to be spoiled himself. So if I say there's a great movie out, you should see it. He's like, just tell it to me.
You know what he does?
Just tell me what happens. And I'm like, why? And he's like, maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't. Just, I want to know right now.
Yeah.
Who wants to be spoiled?
This is the thing about cum forehead. Who'll go to Wikipedia and read the Wikipedia the weekend the movie comes out?
Yeah,
he's like a fucking nut.
Why do you do that?
Because I don't even believe that he watches film.
I've turned movies off. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to go to the Wikipedia, see what happens. I'll have like a fuck.
But you're interested enough to know the ending, but not interested enough to stick it out another 45 minutes.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to get too into a character that may end up dead.
Thank you. I'll spoil stuff for Joe all the time. I'll be like,
that's terrible. That's a terrible personality trait.
Can I tell you something? I got no problem with them doing it to Joe.
I spoiled Star Wars, Creed, Batman vs. Superman. I'm like, I'm going to spoil this for you, Joe.
I don't have a problem because that's baby fucking movies anyway. You're basically saying, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Jack ends up rolling down the hill. That's it.
Not going to believe it, man.
He broke his crown. I'm sorry, the way you guys pronounce it, crayon.
Or I pronounce it crayon.
Crayon. It's none of those things, by the way. It's actually the one thing that is a crown. Because that's how I would say crayon when I was a kid.
Right.
Crown.
And
then it was like Jack fell down, broke his crown. I go, get another fucking crown. They come in those big 94 packs. What the fuck? There's so many different crowns in that. Come forehead, am I right?
You're definitely right.
Now we suddenly got Byrne has a fucking wingman.
There's too many crayons in there.
Crayons.
What are you? There's too many crayons.
Crayon. The queen needs another crown. Please, someone please come and bring the queen a crown. Preferably turquoise.
Like the fact that we're making fun of him actually pronouncing something correctly.
For a change.
This is actually one of the few times he actually says something correctly.
Well,
but it still sounds weird to me.
What about
crayon.
the big laugh that we had yesterday? Because he does it constantly. The way you write.
Oh, Jesus.
And just explain the thing that you do time and time again.
Okay, I'll write may, M-A-Y, of, O-F, instead of may have.
Well, just say it in a sentence. Like to pretend you're on the radio for a fucking for a second and set the table for the listeners.
Okay, I'll do this. Like, if I say, I may have went to the store last night.
Why don't you know?
Now
I don't want to fucking tell everyone what I'm doing.
Drinks. Now, here's the deal. If he's sitting around going, I may have done this, right?
Yeah.
We don't call him out on it because it's speaking.
Right.
But the second that he writes it down, which is, by the way, every time he should write have, it's fucking hysterical.
But that means in your mind, you're saying may of.
Yep.
O-F.
Yep. And you realize it makes zero sense.
I didn't realize that until it was pointed out to me the first time. Probably 2 or 3 years ago.
And not once have you corrected it.
I see it. And afterwards, I'm like, how can I keep doing this? It's like fucking doing it wrong over and over and over again. I feel crazy when it's pointed back out to me. Because I'm just reading it inside my own fucking head. May have. Oh,
by the way, this is only, now you would think, well, this is a slight thing. Let me add this to the table. Should have, would have,
oh, no.
and could have.
Oh, yeah,
any time that he should use have. So as he's acting like it's a rare thing,
right?
It's almost most emails.
Yeah, those words are going to come up at some point.
And this is why you're stuck doing a management meeting next week.
Yeah, I have to have an all-day management meeting. It's a big deal, I guess.
All day, every day. Who else is in it? Have you found out?
No, I haven't found out.
Any of your friends?
Anybody from Opie's show?
I didn't. No, I don't believe so.
Isn't E-Rock the executive producer?
He might have already done it already. I'm not 100% sure.
That's why you're the worst executive producer
he may
ever.
have.
Every executive producer tries to get information for everything. That's what you are when you're the executive producer. It's to know what's happening in the business, what's happening in the halls, what's happening everywhere. Chris has zero contacts except for two dudes that he drinks with. And they have nothing for him.
What do you got today, boys? Nothing.
Yeah, I could have done that.
God damn it. I fucking hate it. Yet I can't stop doing it.
But that is our Stanley. That's our fucking Stanley.
Or come forehead, as people are saying.
Enough with that, man. You beat it into the ground.
It's like you want to become forehead.
I'm going to cross that out. I wrote it down. I'm going to cross it out.
Why'd you write down come forehead?
Also wrote down milkshake.
Javak said that you drive him insane with that.
I drive myself insane with
The should have, would have, could have is his biggest pet peeve.
But you only realize it when it's pointed out to you.
Yeah.
It's not like you sent it and then immediately went, "Oh my God, I sent this."
No, it has to be pointed out to me.
You know, my pet peeve is the term pet peeve. I believe the peeves should be in the wild, the way God intended. I don't think we should make it a pet of our peeves.
Is there a certain thing, a certain word that is like a pet peeve? If someone immediately says that, you're like, I hate that person.
Well, I just hate people anyway, so I'll just attach a reason to it. I don't think I have that.
Because there's certain phrases that if I hear them,
the non-thinking phrases?
Yeah, they're non-thinking, and then I just don't like them on top of being non-thinking. For example, if anyone says to me the phrase brain fart,
yeah.
And I know that I'm alienating a lot of people out there because it comes up a lot. A lot of people say brain fart. I don't like that. I don't like the imagery that is in my mind when I hear it. I don't like it's so vile.
That the brain has a little asshole that it farts out of?
That's exactly what I picture.
I see.
It puts something visual in my mind that I don't like, and I don't know why people feel comfortable saying brain fart. Chris, do you have one like that?
I don't like when people say whatnot. I find that to be annoying. It seems lazy.
See, my thing is something that someone tries to take credit for, and yet we've all heard it a million times. Like somebody will go, "Well, I'll tell you, but then I'll have to kill you." You're like, "That's not your fucking joke." You know what I mean?
Why would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it a million fucking times. And I'm like, why are you wasting time with this thing?
I wish I could remember. You said something today that was kind of like that. That was like a whatnot. Where it was.
He says
you were in a conversation. You were in a conversation with someone downstairs.
Yeah.
And then you said, for something that made zero sense, that he said he had a new job and then whatever he was talking about, not really like it. And then Chris clearly isn't listening. He goes, "Hey, it happens." And I'm like,
that's
what?
Fucking, yeah.
And then instead of just ignoring it, I turned to Chris and go, "What happens?" And then he just looks at me like, "What?" Because he knows that he just said something that doesn't make sense.
First of all, here's the thing. When there's only two people and he's ignoring you, you know what I mean?
Really?
I mean, it's one thing if he's ignoring you in a room full of people.
Sure.
You get a lot's going on.
Yeah, but what if you and him, and he's just off in his mind, bebopping and scatting, he's just walking around, just kind of pacing.
Wait. When he's bebopping and scatting, what's happening in his mind?
he's actually scat man. I don't know. I guess his mind is somewhere else, but sometimes he just gets all fidgety and weird and
Hey, Brian, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, we went on a tour of the Carolina Panthers stadium last week, and the guy giving the tour at least 15 times in the space of a 1 hour tour said the phrase "that being said" incorrectly.
Now,
so that's an annoying enough phrase.
Here's the thing.
As it is.
That's from reality TV. That's from every vote off show. So it's like, I'll get up and make a speech. Like, honesty is very important to me, and loyalty is my most important thing. So that being said, Chris, I'm sorry, I'm voting against you.
Damn it!
I mean, they do it constantly on those fucking shows.
Yeah.
I do have a problem with anyone who won't get to the point. This is my fucking worst thing people do. It'll be like, Chris, here's what I want to do at the meeting. And I know that you probably don't want to do this, and I understand it, and I get that completely. But what I want to do, and I could be wrong, just fucking tell me. I don't want you to play devil's advocate to yourself.
Preface nothing.
I don't think you guess what I fucking think of you before. Give me a chance to be in this monologue.
Also, a long time ago, this was at one of the live gigs many years ago.
Yeah.
And there was somebody there. I don't know who it was. It was kind of a suit situation. I don't remember exactly who it was. And they kept coming up to you before the show started. And I could see, like, your eye was twitching. You were so annoyed because every time he came up to you, he kept on going, question.
I hate that.
And I could see, like, I could just see your eye twitching, like you were going to dive for his throat.
I even had a producer that used to say that every day, and I'd just say, ask the fucking question. Don't just say question. You say statement, and then fucking tell me something. Yeah, I couldn't. Here's our old buddy, Cigars and Scotch.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
My pet peeve is hearing people say learned. Like, oh, he's a learned man. And it's always someone stupid trying to sound more intelligent.
Yeah,
learned. He's like me. We're both learned.
I'm glad that we're all back in Old England. He's a learned gentleman. All right, thanks, buddy. Here's Chris, Phoenix.
Hey guys, I hate it when you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and somebody goes, well, honestly, this is how I feel. It's like, wait a minute, honesty is supposed to be honestly the whole time.
I know. And that lets you know that you're dealing with a liar. You know what I mean? That they're pointing out, I'm not my regular bullshit self. I'm being honest right now.
You trust me now.
Hillary, what's up?
I gotta say, for my whole life, anytime anyone says long story short, I instantly hate them for the rest of my life.
Long story short.
Oh, it makes my skin crawl or my teeth itch. My husband says it makes my teeth itch. Exactly how I feel.
By the way, you're only making the long story even longer by saying long story short. You've added to the story. Kurt.
I cannot stand it when somebody says, well, in my mind's eye.
Darren, what's up?
Hey, guys, I cannot stand no pun intended or the opposite pun intended. Clearly, you know the relationship there is fucking terrible.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? What
goes around comes around. Always said that. Really, because a lot of things go around, you never see them again. They're just gone. They don't go around.
What about when somebody punctuates something at the end of someone's story or their own story by just saying, fun times? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That was Molly. Molly used to do
Oh,
fun
shit. Sorry, Molly.
I always like when somebody do that, like, you're just fucking talking, you just hear him be like, I heard that. That's it? You're letting me know now?
That's such a working man's one, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I heard that, brother.
Well, so what we're saying is we hate language and humans.
Completely.
But it just goes to show you how little communication is actually communicating.
Right. Is that you are immediately searching for these little phrases in your mind to get yourself out of communicating.
To fake your way through human interaction.
Well, this sounds like what people would say in response to that.
Exactly. That's what sociopaths do. The sociopaths think, let me guess what a human would do right now.
This is what they would say.
Do you feel that way, Chris?
Yeah. Well, there's someone who works here who says it is what it is constantly in conversation, like 4 or 5 times within a statement. It's ridiculous.
It is what it is.
I'm just like counting the amount of times you're going to say it again, aren't you, man? It's fucking crazy.
Who is it?
You guys don't know him, but he works upstairs and he smokes.
Oh, so you had smoking talk.
Yeah, smoke talk. Yeah,
the way smokers are forced together.
Yeah.
To talk.
Like, all right.
Fucking place blows, right? No one ever sits out in the smoking area and goes, we're all so lucky to be working in this industry when they're cutting so many jobs.
It is what it is, Joe.
There's no positive fucking smokers. Here's John, Louisiana.
Yeah, how about you got to be shitting me?
What's wrong with that?
I think I might say that.
I definitely say that.
But what does that mean?
You've got to be shitting. I guess
instead of kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it's like you've got to be shitting on me right now.
Like physically shitting on you?
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. You've never been shit upon.
No. I feel like the implication is saying you're like almost like bullshitting. Like you've got to be shitting me, like you're bullshitting me, but you've cut the bullshit out.
Oh man, I took that totally the wrong way.
Well, do you like when people go like this, bull hockey? I hate if anyone tries to get around cussing.
Yeah.
It fucking drives me nuts.
Well, Vito has one that, what's the curse word that you hate?
I hate when people say doo-doo.
Yeah, like he doesn't like, it's his least favorite word.
You hanging around with 2-year-olds?
No, adults will say, I gotta go take a doo-doo. And I get really mad.
I didn't know that was the context.
I gotta go doo-doo all the time and I get mad.
All right. You gotta not talk over him, because I want to hear your stuff. What is it, Vito? What happens with adults? Because it doesn't happen.
I will hear people, like at my other job, say stuff like, oh, I gotta go take a doo-doo.
You work with children.
I don't care. I'll say shit in front of a kid instead
I
of
know,
doo-doo.
but what I'm saying is this doesn't take place. And most of his thoughts are not universal.
I just like the idea of that doo-doo is more, I mean, that is a more offensive word in many ways.
Why?
I don't know why. It just is gross. It's a gross word.
I don't find it so good. I thought it's classier than
I'd rather say duty.
Oh, duty's much worse than doo-doo.
By the way, these are all for toddlers. By the time you're 6, you're like, I gotta go drop heat. I can't fucking... No 6-year-old would say duty or doo-doo.
Duty. Yeah. Duty's the fucking worst.
Duty's kind of funny.
No, doo-doo's better than duty.
They're all ridiculous. They belong in a Star Wars movie.
New Star Wars trailer dropped, Rogue One.
Try to guess what the way Joe wrote it up today. Do you remember, Joe?
Yes.
What was it?
I said, now we only have 5 more movies until we're all...
No, the way you did the word instead of rogue.
Rouge.
Wait, idiot.
Yeah. Rouge. He's a moron. That's up there with Dr. John. I don't know what happens with this team.
Rouge.
Ryan, Long Island.
Hey, what's up, guys? I don't understand why people insist on putting an S at the end of the word anyway and say anyways.
Anyways.
I do that. Do I do that?
I do that.
I say anywho.
Anywho.
That's fun.
Glenn, Charleston.
When you go to a Hawaiian-themed party and some asshole always has to say, oh, want to get laid?
Yeah, it's
I just
true.
want to murder everybody in the room.
That has been around since GIs came back from the island back in the 40s.
Just pick this one up.
Oh, man, I have another
She
one.
just laid me. Look, everyone.
You got laid, bro.
Yeah.
So, you know how someone will say they're trying to search for someone's name and they'll say either what's their name or what's their face. I really hate when someone's like, what's his butt?
No, I've never heard what's I've never heard what's his butt.
I've heard only women and gay men say it, and I don't understand where it came from or why anyone says what's his butt or what's her butt.
Whoever this,
don't understand it.
Whoever this chick is, I definitely want to hang out with. What's his butt said something so funny the other day.
What did you say?
I've never heard that.
So annoying.
My dad used to say, "What's his butt?"
Exactly, gays.
Oh, you got you and your dad.
It does seem like some weird Midwest fucking salesman.
Oh, what's his butt?
Did you call your dad and let him know Cheap Trick was in here yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. What's your saying? He was freaking out, to say the least. I'll say that.
Well, what's to say the most?
to say the least.
I bet if we called your dad right now, he has no idea. Nope. There's no way you called your dad. Just admit that you lied.
I texted him. Yeah, I talked to him about it. I told him what guests we had on.
He already come up with another one that drives me nuts. Texted. I text him. That's enough. The texted.
But is that
drives me nuts.
But then it isn't past tense, is it?
I know, but that thing drives me fucking crazy. Texted. It just sounds weird to me. Sounds annoying.
Yeah, because you just say sex.
I'd rather say we sexed it last night. Oh, and
so romantic.
Long story short,
I had a little bit of a brain fart
and ended up shitting her.
And all that doo-doo.
Duty.
Queen Elizabeth sent this in. My friend used to swear with cheese and rice instead of Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I hate that. I hate anyone who says frickin'. You know what I mean? Just say fucking. That Cat Skippy said, if one more person says throw under the bus.
Yeah,
I hate that
that's
too.
a reality show invention that now people just use in
Came
life.
from a reality show?
That's the first time I ever heard it.
Chris tried to throw me under the bus with the rest of the tribe members.
Yeah, I feel like it was like Survivor.
I want to win the money. That's why I did that.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe that existed before, but I don't think it was popular in conversation. And then it was every reality show used it, and now people just use it.
Well, the thing in reality show when they act like I thought you were honest or whatever. That's like getting mad at a pitcher for picking someone off at first. You know what I mean? Like, this is the game that we're playing, the dishonest, fun lie game.
Yeah.
Not the real game. Like, if you steal second in baseball, it doesn't make you an actual thief. You know? He took something that wasn't his.
He was on first. That's what he deserved because of how the hit went.
That's the way people should be.
He already said he's not here to make friends. Okay, he made it very clear.
Don't you like any of those guys, like when they're one-on-one? I'm playing these people like marionettes right now.
Look, hysterical, man.
I've literally got these fucking gerbils eating out of my palm.
My puppets.
Last American Idol tonight. That's it. That's the end of the line. I don't even think they let the people vote this year. I haven't seen many of the episodes. But any of the ones that I did, because I thought we'd all be discussing it, you know, because it's the end of an era.
Is there a big standout star this year that everyone is really excited about?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's somebody who won't get a record deal.
Right.
But, you know, there's this black girl that's got amazing pipes.
Yeah.
She's like a young Aretha Franklin. Or maybe even the same age as Aretha. I don't know. But I thought with that show, I never even watched it to the third season. And I had to watch it because of radio callers. They would want to constantly bring up, I don't know, fucking Sanjaya or whatever those names are. And I'm finally like, I got to do some prep. You know, I got to watch this show. And then I fell in love with Farina that season. She went on to grab America's heart. She sold probably 70 or 80 albums after that. Yeah. I sent the Buzz Aldrin pic to your aunt.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, my big sister, and she wrote back to me, I think, I'm printing this up and putting it in a frame and putting it on my desk.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yep, we're all going to Mars. That's what I wrote to people. Well, we've been picked for Mars.
We did it.
But yeah, people were excited about the Buzz Aldrin.
Oh, it was such a cool experience getting to talk to him.
Me with my man Buzz Lightyear. Do you know that Buzz
got shot.
like 5 or 6 years ago threw a punch at somebody?
Yeah. Who was that?
I think
what
it's
was
some
the
idiot that said
circumstance?
that he never landed on the moon, and it was,
that's gonna make it
Stanley Kubrick film. And Buzz just fucking threw one from the hips, he just dropped the fucking haymaker on him. You gonna try to show it to us now?
It came up, yeah.
No. This, if you're on the BL show, just suddenly that noise pops up, and they just make the move from the other room. And you're like, yeah, I brought up a thing. I really didn't want to watch it right now, but thanks. I was thinking about that because this Ralphie May thing happened yesterday where he actually got a gig canceled because he did something about Native Americans, and he said it's taken out of context. But I was thinking if anyone saw me with BL, they would think that I was the rudest misogynist ever. You know what I mean? And you really can't say, look, we both get this. We've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And yet that's the absolute truth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there was another person on the planet that I would talk to that way.
Yeah, and I was just having a conversation with someone about this type of circumstance, not this exact thing, where, it's not even worth saying, well, taken out of context. I mean, you put it in the context of a comedy show or a radio show, but the type of people who do that, they don't care about the context of a radio show or a comedy show or whatever.
It just can't be said.
Or even a conversation with your friend that maybe you guys joke on a certain level. Yeah, they don't see context is worth.
Well, people don't see context when it's about them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, everybody has a line that can't be crossed. They're like, everything is funny until you get to cancer. Because my aunt had cancer. So you're saying it's only if you are connected with that pain, do you no longer find humor in everything?
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with also not finding humor in everything. Like,
Absolutely.
I think that's totally human. But yeah, the issue would be if you're going to be the type of person to say, I can enjoy these jokes. Like, these jokes about race are hilarious to me. But this joke about rape is not because that hurts me. That's fine for you on a personal level. The problem is when you start saying, like, you can't do that.
Well, what I try to do is get a group of people to agree with me that someone else can't say it. That's my thing. I'm going to start a group of people who are, I'm going to call us the easily offended. And we will just strike out at anyone who offends us.
It's the EO.
Thank you. EIO. And yet, here's the thing, when you're freedom of speech, you're protecting the rights of, a bit that's not all that great.
Right.
I mean, I don't think I'd be howling,
Sure.
Just a joke, though. Every joke doesn't land. Matter of fact, most don't land. It's like just in the same way that most times you step up to the plate in the major leagues, you don't get a hit. No one's shocked by that. But they expect if you're going to do a humor, it's got to be 100% of it.
Right.
That kills.
And then they have to, I think it's on the other side, it's one of those things too, where certain people can get away with certain things. I always think that that's interesting that people don't see that as well. They're like, well, if they can say this, then why can't I say that or whatever it is?
Yeah,
it's like,
you don't have the skill.
You don't have,
to turn
exactly.
it into humor. Yours comes across sounding blunt and jagged.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. It's just like if people do things in the context of comedy or a show, then you have to know that that's where they're coming from. But the idea of someone having that same joke who can't land it, it's hard to defend that because you're like, well, it wasn't funny is the reason that
humor. First of all, the thing about humor is everybody kind of feels humorous. You know what I mean? They attempt a joke. But I was, after the show yesterday, we watched Cheap Trick play, and I was watching Rick Nielsen play the guitar. I don't know if I had 10 lifetimes that I would come anywhere close to being as comfortable and natural as he is with a guitar. And I saw the guy play in the 70s. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, he's gotten really great over the last 40 years. I mean, he was great 40 years ago. He has talent plus craft. I don't know how. I guess you could work to make your craft better, but that only really helps if you have talent to begin with.
Right.
You know, like you can't start this with no talent and develop craft. I don't think, but people don't expect that when it comes to being funny. You know.
Yeah, they don't, or they don't seem to think that it's two separate things. Somebody who works really hard at something and somebody who's naturally good at it, and like where you value those two.
Where do you what do you place more value? Somebody who's born with natural talent, or someone who's developed great craft?
Well, I can tell you what I tend to enjoy in humor is when it feels natural to that person. Now, I feel like, you know, I don't mean to say if you work really hard and you write and you study like the mechanics of why something would be good, that's not a skill. I still think it's valuable, but I think I tend to gravitate towards people who make it feel effortless.
You are very kind in the way you say, who gives a fuck that you developed the craft? Because that's the way I feel. Do not bore me with your fucking crap. I'd rather meet a naturally funny person.
Yeah.
Period. And I've met a couple people that are considered the biggest comedians of all time. And I don't think they're naturally funny at all. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I hung out with them and didn't find anything, you know, sparking.
And there is something kind of remarkable about that type of personality, because I think that's interesting when you think of it, because that person has something that is a type of fire, where if they probably put their mind to whatever, they could have been successful, because really what they do is say, I'm going to be obsessive about this thing. I'm going to learn this inside and out, and maybe I don't have the natural.
If you would have taken Kevin Hart and put him into any business, if he was dry cleaning business, he'd have 200 dry cleaning stores right now.
Right.
He is a driven, hardworking person. Now, he also has a sense of humor. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but I was just going back to your point of sometimes you look at extremely successful people and it doesn't matter what the business would be.
Yeah.
You know? Like when those people started saying, well, Donald Trump, his dad gave him $1 million. Do you know how many fucking people their dad gave $1 million to and they ain't billionaires? I mean, I don't know if Trump has, and I couldn't live this way. I don't think he's ever not been working, even when he's at a restaurant or a party. Like, those things are just another business thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a 24-hour business. And you've met those people. I have a friend who, and this guy was a hardcore partier. But if you went to his house, you'd also meet his clients. He would have clients around his friends, and he didn't see the difference, you know? And I'm like, we're going to fucking do something here tonight. You've got these fucking people. You're like, they're great. They're great. And he would try to tell me the person's background. I could give two shits. But he just saw the world that way. Clients are friends and friends are clients. It's just, you know, it's just a way of being.
But it's fascinating the type of personality who, whatever they hone in on.
Right.
What they're going to do is learn the inside and outside of that business. They're going to learn everyone's names. They're going to learn how everybody did it. And then they're going to approach it by using that skill set of figuring it out. I think that's fascinating. It's very foreign to me.
Yeah.
But I think
you're lazy.
Yeah.
You're an incredibly lazy
That's exactly right.
You come by through that naturally. Because I'll always be like, this is some dude. He's in charge of our destiny. I forget what he does, though. But anyway, he doesn't dress well. So, all right, Joe had a question yesterday about the world of sport and difficulty. And here's what I want us all to do. Listen to his question, and then we'll all write down our answer.
Okay.
And we'll see who is what I'm going to call now Ron's winner.
Oh, man, I want to do that.
Oh, man.
I want to be Ron's winner. I want
Joe, what is your question?
I know Chris does.
Yeah.
My question is, what is the most difficult position in all of sports? And whatnot?
You know, that's annoying.
Look how fast Chris wrote. There's no thought to this at all, because I have at least 3 based on this.
I had a few in my head, but then my brain chose this one.
Oh my God, that's another thing What do you mean your brain chose it? Is that different from you?
No.
Doesn't your brain choose everything?
I'm going to take that out of my vocabulary.
But you know what I'm talking about, what he just said?
Yes,
My brain chose it.
You're your brain.
You
know that, right?
Are you saying
The old
subconsciously
brain.
you just went with it? Man, I'm pissed because
I feel pretty confident about mine.
I'm not confident about mine at all. I think it's definitely in the top 3, but we could argue because they have 2 more. All right, let's start this off with Stanley, since his brain got him to finish first.
A major league catcher.
That was one of my top 3.
Yeah,
one of my top 3. What do you got, Vito?
Major league pitcher.
Wow.
Pitcher. Staying in the major leagues here. Gail?
I said keeper or goalie.
In what sport?
I was thinking soccer.
I have a goalie in hockey. Hockey.
Interesting.
But my top 3 was Gail's, Chris's, and my own. Joe, what's yours?
I put QB, quarterback, NFL.
God, that's a fucking
That's easy. I'll do that right now.
I would say this. Actually, I think a cornerback is a much more difficult role because you got to come up with a criteria of what you're talking here. Stress is a very big part of it. Physicality. If you look what Chris is a catcher, the body gets punished back there.
Yeah.
Breakdown.
What happens to a pitcher's arm and elbow is ridiculous. And also, I think a big part of the criteria has to be, can you come back from even the slightest mistake, which the goalies are 2 positions you don't come back from, right? A cornerback, dude, you got to run backwards or be ready to catch a fucking halfback coming around the end. So there's the thing. But if someone gets a step on you,
one,
and you're running backwards against world-class people running forward, very, very difficult. Why would you pick quarterback? You're the only one that the guy who came up with this, I think, is the only one that you couldn't.
Worst answer.
It's not the worst answer, Chris. My reasoning is because stress. You are the X factor for your team. You will win and lose that game for your team, and you have to do it every single play.
Goalies, the catcher fucking, is calling the fucking plays, moving outfielders, and having the ability to catch 100-hour fucking fastball or a curve that rolls off the table, or God forbid, a knuckleball, which is
impossible.
Yeah.
And throwing dudes out.
But by the way, have you ever caught for someone who fucking throws heat?
No.
It's unbelievable because just like one of the most difficult things it is to hit a fucking ball, seeing that ball that's there and like that quick and you got to move your glove, I would make 18 hours a fucking game. And I would be yelling back to the fans, you fucking try to do this.
Now, the reason that I picked goalie was, first of all, the speed in which you have to make a decision. So it's like the stress factor plus the speed. But I think that the soccer players are phenomenal. Like, I'm just in awe of what they do in general. Like, they're phenomenal athletes.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think is interesting is that this whole team, they play together and they practice in a way that they have these plays planned out where they know if you're there and I'm here and you're there, like what we do. So you like can run these drills, but there's nothing that a goalie can kind of do to prepare to see how somebody steps and to know which direction to go and then pop back up and be ready to do it again. Like it's not a one-time thing.
It's a gigantic area.
It's massive.
Yeah.
So like not only that, you have to just be able to take flight at any point.
Right. And when you go in the wrong direction, there's nothing more embarrassing looking. The guy dives left. And
idiot.
And then they just tap it in the other
I said
direction.
hockey because they're coming at you like crazy and then shooting a puck, 100 miles a fucking hour.
Which, how can you even see that little thing?
Here's Chris, Colorado. What is the most difficult position in sport?
I would have to say defending champion in boxing or MMA.
Why do you say defending?
Well, because you have the most to lose, and you have the guy who's probably the best up against you.
So no matter what, the thing about that is you just drop kind of off the fucking face if you lose it all. I mean, being a champion is phenomenal. You drive around and people are shaking your hand, but if you drop it, you're suddenly back to nothing.
Klitschko was champion for like 10 years or something, or 12 years. Like, he had almost every heavyweight title. And now who the fuck cares? Like, he's done. It's over. Some crazy.
I didn't even care when he had it. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know. I've seen his fights, but I never cared.
I watched
never
him
even for a second.
To a giant gypsy.
But, obviously there's so much technical stuff in either one of those sports. And then also the physicality, what happens to your body so quickly.
Yeah.
It's just, it's actually awful. It's a terrible thing. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. The conversation came up. What is the most difficult position in sport? Richard, Florida.
Hey, I believe it's striker in soccer because it requires the imagination and the ability to get shots off. There's less shots on goal than hits in a baseball game. It's much easier to disrupt instead of to construct in soccer. That's where the highest paid, the most prized players play.
Yeah, the thing there is, and you also look quite ridiculous because if you don't nail that ball completely, you kick it into the stands. When you have a shot at an almost open goal, and it's fucking humiliating.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting at home going, how could this Brazilian have fucked that? Even though I've never really played the sport before, it seems totally easy.
Right.
And I could have done it and should be there.
I don't even understand. When I watch soccer players, I don't even understand how they're able to move the ball down the field, let alone take a shot and brilliantly get it in. I'm just watching them being like, how do you control your foot like that?
I know.
Never stop stride of running.
Right. We just don't have anything where we've done that. And if you don't start doing that by age 2, you could never make it at all. Like, you have to just be walking around with a ball like that when you're a toddler. And even now, like, you'll be watching our U.S. soccer and you're like, oh, I saw a great game. And then, like, the next day, if you put on something where fucking Brazilians are playing, you're like, what is wrong with us? Are we slow? Are we playing underwater? Here's Mark. Mark, go ahead. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was just going to say, probably one of those old adages you won't like to hear, but a batter in baseball where he fails 7 out of 10 times ends up in the Hall of Fame. I think it's got to be the most difficult.
Well, the reality of it is, it's exceptional if you could hit it 3 out of 10 times. I mean, just go into a fucking batting cage and start to see when it's like 75, 80.
Yeah.
And that's one where you know where the fucking ball is going to be. It's not like the guy's fucking with you or throwing inside or an outside curveball that you have to chase. I mean, it's a ridiculous thing. And you could make the point against Vito. Is it tougher to be at the fucking plate than it is to pitch?
Like, to hit a breaking ball? Seems like it shouldn't be possible.
Yeah,
the skill level of those pitchers where they'll move the ball 6 inches in a way, you know what I mean? They'll throw one pitch and then just move it over 6 inches on purpose. 90 feet away, 6 inches thrown that way. It's crazy. So I'm going to ask you, Chris.
Yeah.
Tougher to fucking be at the plate or pitch?
Tougher to be at the plate.
Vito, tell him why he's wrong.
Tougher to be a pitcher because especially in the modern era right now where pitching is key and everything relies on pitchers, like you got to go out there and most pitchers are doing what, like under 2.8 ERAs right now. And every decision you make is crucial to the game. And if you give up a grand slam, you have to go right back out there and do it again and act like you haven't been
just
phased.
playing it on fucking video when you're like, I've been fucking pitching for 8 innings in this stupid game and they just jacked me. And you know what I mean? And you're just like, I don't fucking think I ever want to play this game again. I'm exhausted from the decisions that I've made on a video game. I think what's always amazing about fucking pitchers too is if that guy's having a slightly off game, when we're talking about how difficult it is to hit fucking pitching, if that guy's having a slightly off game, that team will tear the fucking tits off him. Or just when he's starting to just run out of gas, 6th inning, and they'll just fucking jump on this dude who was unhittable.
Yeah.
Unhittable 2 innings before. And you just see now, it looks like everybody can fucking hit him. Here's Tom in Syracuse.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
How about an Olympic decathlete training for the decathlon? 10 sports, and you only get to really be on stage every 4 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that you see that as the stage, but they're doing their sport all the time. Just no one's showing up for it.
Yeah, they're constantly training.
Yeah. And one of the, any of those kind of sports, when you start to get to the top of the world, like, let's face it, none of us are impressed with a bronze. And all that means is there's 2 other human beings right now on the planet who can do this a millisecond better than you can do it. That's gotta fucking be crazy.
And then be treated like, oh, all those years of dedication, you blew it.
Right.
You blew it.
You're third. You're a loser.
Kyle, California.
Hey, what up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, I think the skill to be a third baseman, the hot corner, the ground ball coming right at you, a line drive, and then having to make that throw to first base, that's hard to do. I watched that on base. I think that's crazy hard to do. And the guy's running as fast as he can to first base. He's got 90 feet, and that's crazy hard.
Well, that's the amazing thing about baseball, that all these years, right? There's never been any kind of rule change or change in the field. That field was set up perfectly that if a ball is hit and fielded properly at third or short or second, the guy's thrown out. But if there's even the slightest boot, right, or shuffle, you've got a close play or else, he can beat it. It's, if you do everything perfectly, you're a Golden Glove guy. But if there's even the slightest problem, that guy can end up at first. You have a job where you can't make the slightest problem.
I find it interesting how many baseball positions have come up in this conversation because I was not expecting that.
Well, baseball is a chance, is the most effective chance to see the individual inside of a sport. Like we could sit around and go, is an offensive tackle, is that a more difficult position than guard? It's hard to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You probably really need to be playing that sport to make the decision. I always think that a defensive lineman, because you, like, at least with an offensive lineman, right? If I line up against Chris, Gail's the quarterback, my job is just to keep Chris out of there. But so I'm on a 1-on-1 against Chris or sometimes a 2-on-1. But as he's against me, he's literally thinking about you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can make a mistake of when you're playing defensive tackle, and you'll see young kids do this all the time. They're just trying to beat up the offensive tackle, forgetting completely what the goal of that position is. You know? At least an offensive lineman just keeps thinking, Chris, got to get Chris. You know, when you're on defense like that, you could totally forget what the hell you're out there for. And that's why when guys go both ways, and when you're younger, it's not like suddenly playing defense in basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to change your entire thinking, or as you said, what your brain tells you.
Brain.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I think that the hardest one would probably be the soccer midfielder. They have to run pretty much up and down the field the entire half, playing offense and defense. That is a lot of endurance right there.
Yeah, the endurance in two sports always gets to me. Basketball and soccer, just constantly going back and forth in a sprint mode most of the time.
And you look at the length of a soccer field, it's insane. If you just focus on that midfielder position, you're like, what is the distance you ran?
Yeah.
in this time?
Well, you know that it's miles a game, but basketball is miles a game, and you're running on that hard floor.
Right.
And you see old basketball players retire, need their hips done, their knees done. I mean,
because they stop short so much.
They've stopped short, and just that thing of the pressure you're putting on your ankles, knees, and hips. And what always kills me is those guys are like the best athletes, but when they get older, they might not be as good of a basketball player as just some guy who they might, be playing a pickup game because they've lost any physical fucking greatness. They've drained out of themselves. Look who it is. This shocks everybody. It's Hard Rock Jenny.
Oh.
Jenny.
Bennington.
Jenny.
What's happening? So,
hey, Jenny.
You talked about football.
So?
Center. The center is a very difficult position because the center is the quarterback of the line. So he's got to recognize the setups of the defense. He's got to call out blitzes and call blocking schemes while worrying about snapping the ball back and then blocking his guy. So in football, I would say the center. But I've always thought, and this is a little bit different, but being an official in some of these sports is got to be so difficult. Think about the umpire behind home plate, who's supposed to figure out this imaginary box, and every single pitch he has to make that decision. Or the snap throw from third to first, that split second of is the ball in the glove, the foot on the bag, who's there first, or a hockey referee who skates like 10 to 12 miles in a game. I know they're not the quote-unquote athlete, but that's a difficult thing.
Well, that's an athletic thing to do. Plus, you have to jump up and hold on to the glass all the time.
I love when they do that.
Like they saw a mouse. But is the pressure on the ump? Because he doesn't give a fuck if he makes a bad call.
Sure they do. You don't think that they care?
I don't think they take the game home with them the way the athlete does.
No.
Well, the funny thing is the athlete usually leaves it there too, though. That's how Mariano Rivera would never remember what he did the night before because you got to, you forget that stuff. And I don't know. I mean, if an entire stadium of 45,000 people is calling you an asshole, I think.
Let me tell you, I can leave it. I can just let it drop like that and not care, but only in relationships. That's the only time that I could go, hey, didn't work out. We'll get them next time, right? Jenny, what about your job? Managing the pressure of, do they have fries? Did they get the condiments they wanted? You're overlooking this entire... I've never been there where Johnny didn't seem like he wasn't just a guest at the place. Yeah. His life looks so good to me.
You forgot to have to manage Earl sometimes?
Well, you didn't manage him enough to get him to come join me, did you?
That dirty, rotten son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know who's running shit now. That's for sure.
He had his big concert the other night.
Johnny, let me ask you a question.
Anything.
What about sending some steaks over here every once in a while? Is that so bad?
I think we can work that out.
What do you think?
You come in with some steaks.
Delicious steaks.
Why are you looking that way when I pointed this way?
Oh, no, because I saw.
Yeah, but you saw a steak outside.
So you just did it slowly after instead of just saying it, right? Then I would have been able to say something. Oh, God. Well, Johnny, you come up with some interesting points there. You picked the referee as being the most...
Susan, you're on.
Did you ever give me the name?
Samantha.
Thanks.
I think the goalie in hockey or soccer is definitely
that's where me and Gail were.
Pressure packed. Yeah. I mean, and that tiny little puck coming at 90 plus miles an hour, a slapper from the outside.
And also just the uncomfortable stuff that they're wearing,
Just crouching.
And then your thing too, that you got to take that on and off during the game.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah. Especially fuck, there's 2 outs. I'm in the batter's box. Now I got to get over why someone else is taking the warm up. Fuck. And the heat in that position. All right, Johnny. Talk to you later.
Later, Bennington.
Bye, Johnny.
Later, Johnny. Don't forget those steaks. He's got that business with the steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
We like steak.
Steak is good.
How do we even know if we like steaks? It's been so long since we saw one. And don't bring over a plastic knife, Johnny. I gotta have metal on it.
Yeah, who's gonna?
I'll take a fucking plastic knife and fucking stick it in you. Oh, it won't go into your skin? Then how am I going to cut a steak with it? Your Honor, the defense rests. Think about it. Your Honor, let me present Chris Stanley.
Hey.
He barely can eat cereal. And now you expect him to sit down with a plastic fork.
Come on.
Plastic knife. Try to cut it like a human being. And stick it in that rat hole that he calls a mouth.
How's it supposed to get in there? Judge?
Let me do the talking here.
I'm just trying to help.
Can you imagine if that guy was your fucking client?
No.
You show up to fucking help him. He's like, I already talked to the cops. Like, what are you doing?
I already talked to him.
Took care of it.
How would you like to, you talk about a fucking high pressure situation. You're a fucking mafia lawyer. You're like, I gotta get this fucker off. He'll kill me and my family. He's already told me.
I shouldn't have taken the job.
Somebody asked me about the Ralphie May story. It's up on the iBank today. Ralphie had his gig canceled, which I believe was at either near or on a reservation.
Yeah.
Because he did the line, go to the top of it, fuck a bunch of Indians, I think is what it was.
As in to fuck or fuck them?
Fuck them and their complaints. I think he told them to dry out and blah, blah, blah. But obviously he was doing it from, the stage. And this is why, comedians are unelectable. Just unelectable. There's just too many things that you've said offhandedly,
Yeah. On Twitter alone.
And people like if it's a rape joke, it never occurs to anyone that it is a joke for shock's. You know what I mean? Like, even if you could always say, that dude ain't funny, that joke isn't funny, but you can't fucking suddenly act like because he said it, he really means it. Right. He's saying it because he's on stage. And no one ever says this. I've watched Bruce Willis pretend that he's killed so many people that I'm sure he's going to do it in real life. Your Honor, look at the man. He wears a hairpiece every time we see him. How can we trust him? Hey, remember we saw his daughter in here the other day?
Yeah.
She's singing at the Carlisle, which is
really?
Always a very highfalutin New York City. Some of the best people. Bobby Short sang there for a million years, and crooners come into there. She's just like 28 years old, singing at the Carlisle.
Yeah, that's huge.
She ballroom dances, and she sings torch songs.
That's very classy.
And she's a very classy young lady.
It's old school.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders has won 7 of the past 8 nomination contests. And he's still, I think they say mathematically he doesn't have a chance.
He's way in the hole.
Yeah, because she's got all the cheating delegates.
Yeah.
I heard from a friend of mine today who bet money to me that the Republicans were going to nominate Paul Ryan, who hasn't run. And he goes, trust me on this. It's guaranteed. And I think that the country will go crazy. Even if you're a Democrat, there's some question of fairness. You know what I mean?
It's like, Paul Ryan hasn't been in the conversation at all, right? I mean, he hasn't fucking put his head up anywhere, right?
Well, it's not that he hasn't put his head up anywhere. He's Speaker of the House. What you're asking is, has he run? No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
They're going to set that convention on fire.
The fact that you're so confused of what happened there makes this fire thing just almost irresponsible.
No one takes it out of context.
It's borderline irresponsible.
At least it's borderline.
How did he even put it? He hasn't fucking put his head up, right?
So, he hasn't put his head up.
I don't even know what I actually know.
First of all, you've been in the conversation with us for months about who's running.
Yeah, but
so you know that already.
Yes, we know he hasn't run.
Has he?
In one primary.
Has he put his head up?
If I missed Paul Ryan showing up,
then set this place ablaze.
It's the only option here.
Oh, by the way, it's not the fucking fault of the Cleveland Convention Center, or whatever it happens to be called.
And he also just said they're going to set it on fire.
As you light up those bricks, it does nothing.
Somebody wasn't even put their head up.
How's that work?
Gail, it's not fair pointing out his stupidity. We all agree with that.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with that. It's not.
This is why I don't want you to talk to the cops until I get there. Yeah, I had some drugs.
Chris.
Some drugs.
And what's the big deal, right, officer? Just come on. Listen, I'm gonna go.
It's not like I'm Paul Ryan in this shit,
right?
I mean, that fucker.
Where does that mean go?
Face it, he didn't even put his head up yet.
Well, I'm gonna go light a fire. Catch you guys later.
You got matches. Join me.
Got some gasoline.
Oh my
God. Great news, everybody. We're doing a big unmask with Jim Norton. It's got everybody a buzz right now.
Well, that's going to be Tuesday, April 19th at 8 p.m. It's going to be at the Village Underground in New York City. So go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I got to be at this one. You know, I got to go.
Well, yeah, you
Jimmy's
actually
hilarious.
You actually have to be there.
Hilarious. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, you have to go.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. You're preaching to the choir now. By the way, did we decide that Joe came up with a stupid thing?
Yeah, but do I win Ron's winner?
No, you can't be Ron's winner. I'm going to have to go with a tie between me and Gail because that's what I got from Johnny.
Yeah.
I just want.
But you were my third. It's weird that the three of us.
Yeah.
Because we know.
Yeah.
We know.
And I don't know where quarterback, that goddamn lolly position comes into it.
You have to...
Between that and cheerleader.
Cheerleader's tougher.
It's so hard, though, to keep up spirit.
See, I think the difference is like four of us picked a position where there's basically not a lot of help from your teammates. Joe picks a position where every teammate, it's all they think about. Is my quarterback okay? Check on the quarterback! Check on the quarterback! Like a fucking baby alarm they should have on him.
Has anyone talked to the quarterback today?
You ever see when a fucking sack goes down and some 380-pound guy runs over and picks him up?
Yeah.
You okay, buddy? That guy got you, right? I'm getting him now.
Next time, not going to happen.
Care about Paul Ryan? This fucking guy never even raised his head up. So we're going to burn up Cleveland.
All town.
Joel McHale is going to play Chevy Chase in a movie. Did they get along on that show? I know Chevy fought with everybody, but I don't know whether he fought with Joel or not.
Yeah, I don't remember there being specific about the two of them. I just know everyone said he was kind of brawling with everyone all the time.
Yeah.
Certainly the writers and producers and stuff like that.
I think what's the name of the movie? I mean, we had the actual guys in from the documentary.
It's going to be called Futile and Stupid Gesture.
Which is about?
Which follows the story of Doug Kenny, and who found National Lampoon.
There we go, National Lampoon, where we had all those guys in. That's up on the iBank today. Jim Brewer's putting out a metal album. Go check that out. I think there's even some music you can listen to. And the David Brent trailer is up. I don't know. David Brent is one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah. I mean, that character, I think, changed so much of comedy, TV comedy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it certainly set everything off. And it's weird to see him get back into it because you're like, oh, yeah, this doesn't remind me of Gervais at all.
Yeah, because now they're a completely separate entity. But I remember the first time seeing him not as Brent, and I was like, oh, this is kind of weird because
you were so locked in.
I was, very
because
locked
we're not
into
from
that.
England, so all we saw was The Office.
Yeah.
At first, and I think in this country I was watching it in real time. I know I watched the first season on BBC America.
And I think that you did because I remember coming home and you were like, you need to sit down and watch this.
Gather around, everyone.
This is crazy. It's
Father wants to talk to you in front of the TV. I present to you from England, The Office. There's been a rape up there. That's one of my favorite lines of all time. Just screaming out. And the desperate look on his fucking face. So yeah, I'm locked into this in a big way. I gotta tell you this, the Joey put up a thing in the iBank today. WTF is in the Thames. Now, have you seen this yet?
No, I have not.
It's some kind of Loch Ness monster in the Thames. So let's... Look how dirty that is. Though. See it?
What the? Whoa!
It's huge!
Wait.
Now, is that all you see of it, Joey, or does it pop up again?
That's all you see of it.
All right, so you got to go back to the beginning of it. Because the guy who runs it a long time...
Fucking holy shit, man.
Wow, that's insane.
All right, but let me just ask you guys this because you're both freaking out. What makes you think that it's alive?
Well, here's what makes me feel that way is the type of movement. Like at first I was like, could it be something bobbing?
Yes,
but it kind
that's
of
what I say it as.
No, it was sinking. It was like diving into below the water.
It did kind
Those
of
are
look
humps. Those are animal humps.
What animal humps do you see out there? Is it a camel?
It's not a camel. It's some sort of mysterious creature.
Oh, so suddenly now it's got mysterious creature humps.
Look, there's like 4 humps, right? Go back again.
But what makes you think it isn't a log or something?
Because it seems to dive downward.
Yeah, but
and it
you've never seen things sink up and out of the water before?
Look at the outline of this thing in the water. Look, there's fins right there, and that's its fucking tail.
I don't see it.
I'm not sure I see fins.
You
but...
show. Why is he jumping around like that? Please go to a pause. Show me how long you think this animal is.
It's this big.
That's
no. First of all,
it's this
Chris,
big. It's this big.
All right, I don't want to be associated with this.
But by the way,
because I
got to explain to the people at home. Chris just pointed 400 yards.
Yeah, that's not where I think it's. But first of all, that thing that you see like that is almost looks like the wake behind something moving.
Yes.
That's not the body all the way that distance, no matter what it is. Even if it's a log,
Thank you.
That's not even.
So you're saying there's a possibility that
I'm saying it's a possibility, but it really looks like movement.
Chris, do you see a possibility for anything other than something that's alive?
No, this is a creature of some sort that we've yet to discover.
And is it the Thames or the, how do you say it?
I don't
Thames,
say it at all.
Thames.
I thought it was Thames.
Why are you saying Times?
Times River.
No,
it can't be.
No, it's not Times. I don't think it's Times.
I'm wrong out of
I don't know
Maybe
what
I'm
it
wrong.
is.
I thought it was Thames. Or
Who cares?
Thames.
There's
The point is-
there's a dinosaur in there.
Now
and
there's
you're
a dinosaur.
fighting over pronunciation.
That thing's moving, and it's fucking dipped underneath the
Yeah,
water.
here's the thing. If it was a log, then where is it now? Like it just sunk in that
Yes.
one moment?
Yes. Because it's being pulled along by currents. It's up on the iBangers. WTF. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, let me just ask you this. If it's a giant fucking undiscovered creature, as you guys are saying, then where is it now?
Somewhere probably out in the ocean. Probably
Deep. We see things in the ocean, and nothing big in the ocean goes into a river. Just is so rare for that to happen. You're saying an undiscovered animal.
I think that there are
that size.
I think that there are undiscovered animals of that size in the ocean deep, for sure.
No.
That we have discovered, it's a teeny tiny percentage what we've even been able to see. Like, for example, we've never even seen certain species of whales mate, but we have to know that they do because they dive so deep that we've never even seen it happen.
I don't want to give them their privacy. I mean, I never saw your aunt and uncle mate, but I've seen your nieces and nephews. And yet there'll be no time that I'm going to go into that room and see what they're up to.
I think that there are things out there. And I think this looks living. There's something in the movement. It really does look like it breaches and then dives deep.
You know,
it's not as big as Chris says it is.
It's huge.
Lori backs you up. It's the Thames. So you got what you wanted.
Thank you.
Yes, all the people are telling you correct, Gail. Even though it has nothing.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Thames.
Here's one that says, Punxsutawney Paul Ryan popping his head up like a fucking groundhog or a whack-a-mole. Hashtag burn that fucker down.
All right, got a hashtag going.
I don't think you did.
That Thames River's pretty big.
We just decided it was Thames. We just called it Thames. Come on. we just decided.
Let's see if there's an inlet to the ocean.
But what's the fucking course there is? Every river leads to an ocean. It's not a lake.
All right, let's see. Let's look at this map.
Yes, of course.
It's definitely from the ocean.
That doesn't mean shit.
This is scientific research. Let me just see if this body of water. Okay, there you go. There's your answer.
Delaware River leads to the ocean, you dumb fuck. Seriously, I'm getting so frustrated with this stupidity. I'm gonna fucking do a murder-suicide with you one day. That's a fucking gimme. Look, Cruz is here fucking backtracking on his New York values shit. They were fucking with him in the Bronx yesterday. Why would you show up when you already act like everybody's a scumbag who lives there?
Yeah.
You know?
I can't believe he'd show his face.
Same reason Trump didn't go to Iowa. He was like, Idaho. He was like, why would I? They ain't gonna like me. I got nothing in common with them. We're going to get back, and Gail wants to show us a suit that is the future, a pervert virtual reality sex suit.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, get ready for it.
But first, go check out what the fuck is happening in the Thames. Thames?
Thames.
Thames. Bennington. Yeah, buddies. It's the Bennington Show. Is this a Thursday?
It is.
It's a fast week.
It truly is. Very fast.
Are we doing the morning tomorrow?
No, we are not.
It's next week. That will
Yes.
be on Opie Radio in the morning. Maybe that should be something that comes up to an Unmasked with Jim Norton.
Yeah. Well, that's this Tuesday, April 19th. Did you know that?
This Tuesday?
Oh, no, not this Tuesday. Next coming Tuesday.
Oh!
Well, it's Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, now I know it. What I'm asking is, do you know it?
Yes, I know it. And it's going to be 8 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. And everybody go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
Yeah, this is almost, we're probably not going to mention it anymore after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be the end of it.
Going fast.
And that'll be it. Sorry, folks. Snooze, lose. Yesterday was fun with the Cheap Trick guys and then watching them perform. And then Buzz Lightyear, making everything happen for everybody.
Booyakasha, we got Buzz Lightyear here.
Whatever that weird snap that he did.
Can do it, but I have to take my rings off.
We were going to have Kurt Metzger in today, but he's ill. So we'll try to talk to him on the phone. But he's out at Caroline's tonight. It's always a very funny show with Kurt Metzger. Caroline's tonight. What times, Chris?
That's tonight, 7:30 p.m. at Caroline's Comedy Club. You go to carolines.com for tickets.
He still offered to come in, and I'm like, no, it's rainy. You're sick. You got to do Caroline's tonight.
Mm-hmm. Rest up. Have some tea.
Or is that pronounced Car-O-Lines?
I always say Carolines.
Well, then it's Caroline's, isn't it?
You go to carolines.com for tickets for Kurt tonight. It's at 7:30 p.m. at Caroline's Comedy Club.
Like standing in lines? Come to Car-O-Lines. Where there's lines of cars for you. Also up on the iBang today, this is kind of an interesting thing for the comedy business. Comedy Insiders recording a comedy special. When is it time? Brian Volk Weiss from Comedy Dynamics. They're the number one people who produce specials, and they're willing to tell you, wait. But don't wait too long.
There's a sweet spot.
Oh, yeah, there's that sweet spot. But, you know, it's funny how many people who are like 24 who's like, I'm ready to do a special. I'm like, are you Eddie Murphy? Then you better not.
But I guess also if your material is topical or political.
Then why are you doing a special anyway?
Yeah, I guess.
What's so special about it if, you know, it's like if you sit around and hear someone ranting about Bill Clinton now, you're like, what are you even talking about? Why are you saying he's dangerous?
No one
He's just a
cares.
nice old man no one cares about. So check that out. I was going to talk about it with Kurt, but maybe we'll do it with somebody later this week. But he came up with a person who said could be a huge household name, isn't, and it's his fault because he's not willing to commit to do the things. This is a person that we all like. We've had on the show.
And he names names.
He names this person's name, but he's saying it because he loves this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it away to this guy. He says he's in the top 001%. Everyone write down now. We're going to see who gets the Ron Award.
Okay.
Person who does this show quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Could be a gigantic star. Chooses not to be because he's not doing the things you do to become a star. Let your brain tell you the answer.
Brain, don't fail me now.
Why? It's always failed you.
You got close to the catcher.
All right, everyone down? Pencils down?
Yep.
Vito, pencils down.
Get down, Vito.
Chris Stanley.
This is my pick.
You say it out loud.
Joe
You're
List.
on the fucking
Joe
radio,
List.
dude. Joe.
I wrote Big J.
I wrote Joe List as well.
I wrote Dan Soder.
That says Dan Sod, and it looks like you ran out of time.
First of all, Dan Soder and Big J have already recorded their specials, so that's a waste of time. Joe List just did his half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. Great comedian who comes in and done this. By the way, Dan Sod, we're never going to do that.
It's not even a real
I am just going to, I guess, tell you guys you're all too dumb to come up.
I guess
take
so.
this out. Our maybe favorite comic who comes in here, Gary Goldman, who I have stated time and time again, I believe to be the funniest writer out there. That his stuff is so intricate. And then I know about Gary getting depressed about things, and I'm like, is this going to depress him?
Right. Is it going to make
Is he going to feel bad? Bad enough to go to bed and stay.
No.
I
Get up.
love Gary Goldman. I just
Yeah.
think his stand-up is so fucking smart and complex and great.
And he's doing really interesting
But
things
he won't
with it.
do the work to be a star. He won't move to La La Land, okay? He won't pursue it the way maybe he should. I don't know. It's an interesting thing because you never know.
But I guess that's also a great compliment to be paid as well. To say that you have...
I think the worst compliment is you could be bigger.
You think so?
Yes. I think it's the worst.
I think it's a good thing to say because then you're saying you're better than what
your work shows.
Maybe that's what it does sound like. But you deserve the best is what I feel is the implication behind it.
And you haven't achieved it for yourself. And that's an awful compliment. That's like being told when you tell a girl you have a cute face. She knows what you're saying.
What's wrong with the rest of me?
Total package. I mean, I don't know whether you'd be told cute face or you're a butterface.
Yeah, I think cute face is probably better than butterface because butterface seems unfixable. And cute face seems like if you cared a little more, you could be great or something. It's just not a nice thing to say.
I will say this.
But a butterface is a really cruel thing to say.
And yet, I think every man would have sex with a butterface where he wouldn't necessarily have sex with a cute face.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if I were a chick, I'd rather be called a butterface, knowing how to rock and pod, you know? Like, whatever. So, face is fucked up. Big deal.
Well, right now, you're a butterbrain.
Yeah. He's great, but that brain is.
That brain tells him wrong things. My brain made me take that lady's purse. Joe, cute face or butterface?
Cute face, ultimately, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though the bod doesn't work?
I feel like I hear you comment on bods more than anything, though. You're such a bod man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the bod.
I am right now, but if I had to, be in a relationship, cute face probably.
I know Vito's answer. He's
We
butterface.
just said this was about sex, not a relationship. Yeah. What do you know?
He's butterface. I don't even have to ask.
Joe's the only one who picked butterbody.
Which sounds delicious.
Love that butterbody.
I guess that's men. I think men probably, you're right. They just prefer.
Yeah. And we're talking about for sexual things, right? I mean, Joe, the girls have called you a butternose.
Did they? What?
That's what all the girls in the bathroom were
thought
talking
they were
about.
saying that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the girls that. Because we have I don't know if you guys have this, but we have like a section that's just for socializing and makeup doing.
What?
I was in.
I'm guessing that's where you guys piss into those little pots.
Yeah, we pot piss.
Urinals.
Well, I was just in the men's room the last commercial break. 6 guys in there. And we were all doing something at the same time as we were pissing.
Okay.
You know what we were doing?
Talking.
Singing.
Oh.
And we were singing, Lady, from the moment I saw you. It was just blasting in there, and then every guy just started singing along.
I think it's funny that they play the same music for us because sometimes after a break we'll both be singing the same song.
You're my lady. I mean, if someone says, do you like that song? I'd be like, no, of course not. But once it starts that bum, ba-da-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum. What is that? Because it's like, please don't. You're killing me.
It's like a war drum sound.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like the English are coming in to kill all the people who live there. Except for we're all there to protect the lady.
Lady.
And everybody was just ironically singing and yet singing loud and knew every lyric.
Right.
Not one person. Now, by the way, there was a huge disparity of age. We went from suits to interns, and we were still singing Lady as loud as we could. I think the reason, they were always kind of embarrassed because they wanted to be a rocking band, Styx. Mm-hmm. And then that song blew up and they kind of got known for it. But then when that guy came back and wrote Babe and it went to #1, they're like, you're out of the band. You're writing the wrong kind of hits. Babe, I'm leaving. I'm leaving my cock and balls with you. That dude loves his wife. He's just constantly fucking singing shit about his chick.
His old butter body.
I don't know. I don't know if she's a butter body.
Well, I feel like butter body, you were saying butterface is for, a one-night stand. But I think you'd rather marry a butter body.
Well, we all become butter buddies. You're not going to get around that.
Exactly.
You're either you're shallow or you're accepting of the butter body. It's up to you. You know what I would say to a butter body?
What's that?
You're my lady. One time Styx bored me so bad opening for Aerosmith that I got arrested. That's how bad that set was. Went and did some wrongs.
Happens.
Gail, we promoted the fact that you are taking this on Shark Tank.
Yes.
And it's we wanted to promote. I think we talked about yesterday that the Aerosmithers said they're stopping after next year.
Yeah, they have implied. It's not like a definite statement, but they're starting to imply it, and they said that they're thinking about 2017 being a farewell tour.
Well, we'll get everybody to come out for it.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea. And there's nothing contractually to make you stick to it. I don't think that there's another band that the original members have stayed together as long as Aerosmith.
Right.
I can't think of one in history.
I mean, not entirely the way. Well, you're right. The Rolling Stones, no, because but they've been together for a long time.
No, since '69 they didn't have the original members.
Yeah, but since then.
Then you had another thing, right. And then Bill Wyman left.
Yep.
Not even close. U2 has been together since '79. Motley Crue probably around the same time, but they just ended up. But Aerosmith had to be together at least 7 years before that.
Yeah.
And there's 5 members instead of just, 4. So I can't think of anybody who comes as close as Aerosmith.
But do you really have to do a farewell tour? Why not just take a break and see how you feel?
Well, what they're worried is somebody's going to get sick.
Right.
And then they won't be Aerosmith anymore, I mean, you have to start and look at things like we can't commit to a year tour the way we did years ago. You could do some dates here and there. A year tour is kind of ridiculous when you think about it.
Oh, it's insane.
For the next year, you're traveling.
What? No. I need to go home sometimes.
You are home here on tour with Aerosmith.
I'm just a journalist.
I mean, the White Stripes couldn't even stay together, and there was 2 of them.
I know.
A train wreck that became.
Everything's train wreck with you. All right, tell us about this fuck suit you're going to pitch on Shark Tank.
Yeah. I've been toying around with an idea.
Okay.
A virtual reality sex suit.
Okay.
Now, you've got an Oculus Rift, so you're in the virtual reality visually.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some fake boobs that you can squeeze, and then I've also added a tiny little robot arm that punches you in the dick while you enjoy it.
Now, is your dick inside there?
I don't know.
I'm looking at this up on the iBang. You don't put your dick into it?
No, it's just this little robot arm that's punching your dick. I don't know what that is, but that's.
It's like a fleshlight, but it's not. It's just punching you in the crotch.
I thought.
Why are you wearing the full suit? That's what I don't get.
There are sensors on the suit that feel like when you're being touched. Now, if you see here, these guys, by their expression, they're enjoying themselves. They look.
No, they're not expressions because they're not humans anymore. Once you put on this mechanical suit, you're Iron Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
What is Iron Man's walking around name?
Tony Stark.
Okay. when that lid shuts, is he Tony Stark or is he Iron Man?
He's Iron Man.
Now that's the weird thing about it, right?
Right. So then you just become
the
man.
suit. And this guy is fuck man.
It's weird.
It looks like a squirrel is jerking him off, like a mechanical. This is up on the iBank today. Also think this took place in River Thames.
I find them. I guess he's groping what? Is those supposed to be fake? Like breasts? That's much odder than him getting punched in the dick over.
I kind of agree with that.
It's really weird if him. Just
First of all, it would be just fucking that weird to be just rubbing breasts like that while you were having sex. You know what I mean? Like,
punch me harder.
Yeah, there's something very creepy, infantile about it because I don't know if it's like their expression or just like how vacant they look while they're doing it. It's very,
it's
very, very
it's
eerie.
Disgusting.
Kind of horrifying.
What's the name of the article? People are asking.
It is Welcome to the Future, where you can perv with a virtual reality sex suit.
Well, jeez.
Now, the thing that I think is also weird, the sex suit and the virtual reality goggles, the Oculus Rift thing he's got on, the look it looks like a perverted Mike TV from Willy Wonka, and that's what really disturbs me.
John, what's up, buddy?
Hey, on the band discussion, the oldest band that I can think of with the original members is ZZ Top.
Yeah, but how many times have they even toured or put out albums over like the last 20 years?
Oh, Billy Gibbons has got a brand new album out right now.
Yes, but that's a solo album.
Yeah,
That's
it's not the band.
completely the opposite. Where
They stay on tour. They might be on tour right now. I mean, ZZ Top's never stopped, man. They just.
I wasn't realizing that. I didn't know. Maybe I just thought of when I wanted to stop seeing them. All right, people, Aerosmith had guitar player changes, not original band for the whole run. Yeah, that is true, but they've been literally the original band.
And all five are still alive.
Yeah. I mean, when I did that town hall with them, hell yeah, it's a town hall with ye old Aerosmith. I'm like, what are you doing? I go, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Okay? This is going to be great. How about what Cheap Trick looked like they were going to walk out of their town hall? I'll leave right now. That was fucking hilarious.
Well, they love to play.
Well, what are you going to do? I didn't say they had to be together for every moment of their fucking lives. I'm saying it's the original band. That's the original band. Not during their heroin years. Trump is revamping the campaign.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, you know what would be smart of him? He should announce his woman VP. And no, not Sarah Palin, who's even nuttier than you are. Sarah Palin has been zero help to him. Yeah. She helped in Iowa and helped in fucking Wisconsin, and they both were a disaster. Just keep her away.
Yeah, she's the jinx.
Oh, people just look at her like, what are you talking about? You went from like crazy pussy into what? It's not sassy anymore.
Not like this virtual reality sex suit. This is the future of sexy.
I don't know if I could take the time to fucking put on that suit.
It's like 40 minutes later, and you're like, you know what? I don't even want to
Then
do
your
it
fucking door rings, and you answer the phone with that, and you're like, excuse me? Oh, yeah, just bring that in. Blue Apron's here. You have to excuse me. I'm in my sex suit.
Don't mind the fake breasts. Or it's his dick isn't in that thing.
It looks to me like it is not.
It can't be.
There's no.
Unless he has a very thin dick.
Look at the opening there. There's nothing. I don't think his dick
what
is
do you
in
just
there.
jizz into your own fucking scuba suit?
Those things are gross.
All of a sudden, you're feeling fucking cum behind your kneecaps
Is this
and your
machine
armpits.
washable?
Because I'm not going to.
Is this Mike TV suit machine washable?
Adam, Indianapolis.
Yes.
What's up?
Those bands are still together as Rush.
Rush, and they just announced that they're at the end of the road.
Yeah.
They pushed Perk too far. His body just He's been in pain for years from fucking playing the drums.
Yeah, I mean,
terrible pain.
Could you imagine your elbows, your shoulders?
I can't imagine my elbows. The way I play them, they're going to get buzzed up. I'm not even sure what an oboe sounds like. I mean, I know it's a woodwind instrument.
It's a woodwind,
but
yeah.
I've never heard an oboe solo.
I feel like an oboe is a lower register.
Ooh.
Woodwind.
All right, so that's a picture of it, but it shows us nothing about how it sounds, does it, Chris?
Here we go. Here's an oboe.
Oh, no. Hi. Swan Lake. Swan Lake.
Started life in
Hello, everybody. I play an oboe.
Man, I really always thought that they were.
Well, you were wrong, Gail.
Really embarrassed myself.
Put that on the pile of mistakes that you've made over the years.
I got that Swan Lake reference, though.
Yeah, you did. Looks like the easiest thing in the world to play.
I could do that.
Yeah, I could do it easy. Please turn it off now, Chris.
No more oboe. No more oboes.
You go too fucking long.
No more oboes.
Why is he writing down no more oboes?
All right, out of everybody in the room, who do you think would put on the sex suit?
Chris. Then Joe. Last Vito.
I had Vito as the top there. I thought Vito would go for it. He's trendy. He's the trendy guy.
I put Joe as a very close second, though.
I'd fucking try that sex suit.
No, you know what? Charlie would probably put on the sex suit, and then Joe would fuck him in the ass.
It's working! It's not working for me.
Is it working?
First of all, it's never going to work if you're in it, Joe. See what I did to him, Chris?
Got him.
Yeah.
Show you look like an asshole.
All right. Don't yell.
It doesn't.
Just discuss it.
Oh, okay.
When you start screaming it kind of ruins the whole vibe.
I don't mean to ruin anything.
Yeah, we're just doing some light razzing, Chris.
Oh, I felt like
Yeah,
attacking.
there's a light razzing thing, that's all.
Okay.
I see Chris, though, as not only trying it. Like, Joe would try it and be like, yeah, I'll do it. But Chris, I think, would be, like, all about that life. And that would be all he did. And that's just from, like, his own obsessive, addictive nature.
Well, did you guys ever watch that Brain, whatever movie I told you that time about the virtual reality thing from the 80s?
Oh, no, I didn't.
You wrote it down. You screamed you were watching it tonight.
You circled it.
I didn't get the bootleg of it.
Why do you even got to get a bootleg? It's on fucking cable every night of the week.
I get all the bootlegs.
Oh, you don't watch cable, do you?
No, I don't even have cable. I just have internet now.
Internet? No, he says to me.
No, internet now.
Okay. Now, what happens if you want to watch a Showtime show?
I can. There's an app. There's a Showtime app. I'll borrow.
Do you have the app?
Yeah, and I'll borrow someone's like login. That's how I watch WrestleMania. That's how I watch HBO.
So you're just asking people for their logins all the time.
I can't. By the way, I can't watch everything on my phone like him. I want to fucking have a screen that I care about, that I love. You know what I call my TV?
What's that?
You're my lady. Take a piss and I sing along. Co-workers, we love this song. Guys are just beating on the back of urinals. I just saw someone's feet under the stall just kicking.
It's a party in there.
Joyfully kicking along.
Yeah. Yo, my. Just banging against the stall door. Lady!
That song is really good.
Wake up and make me breakfast. You said you had a little bit of weed talk for us today. What do you want to talk about? Best derb of all time?
No. It's
Sour Diesel.
It's pot talk in nature, but it's not about pot.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Mind if I spark one up while we're doing this?
last night,
Light a number?
I was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Apron, by the way.
Sure. Which meal?
The chicken with the sweet potato and the collard greens.
Chicken fried chicken, they call it.
Yeah, chicken fried chicken. So I was making that, and I was actually in the moment that I was making collard greens that I got really into my head thinking about how bizarre the concept of cooking is. Like, I think it's a very weird thing that you don't think about often, that we're animals living on this planet, and then for some reason we decided to take consuming, which is a necessity of life, and then just like really like give a little rasp and tazz. Like, what? Like that, the idea of that is very strange. That we're like, you know what's good with these leaves? If you crumple up a little bit of these leaves and then take the root of this plant and cook that up in the fat of an animal. Like, that's a very strange concept that we do when there are no other living things.
Well, just try to picture for a second. I think this will help you. A cow cooking. Just thinking of a cow instead of leaning over and just chewing grass. Not even bothering, like, is this good grass? It's just grass.
No, it's just grass.
You'll never see a cow go, ugh, there's something wrong with this grass? Smell it for me.
And then carnivores are just tearing the body of another animal.
And yet the carnivores will eat the belly first because that's where the vegetables are. They won't eat a vegetable, but they like to eat animals that eat vegetables.
That process that vegetable.
Yeah,
so they're getting the nutrients.
They get all the nutrients, and that's why they'll eat the belly first.
I did not know that.
Now, what I think, if they had a side of potatoes with it, they would enjoy it even more. But yes, you're right. Anytime that well, first of all, the fact that we are an animal, we can't get out of that, right?
Yeah.
But we drive cars. We have laptops.
If shows we
an animal.
We have preferences. Just the idea that we are like, I don't care for that.
Like, I was just telling another animal, I can't watch shows on a phone. And he's like, no, I get passwords from other animals. They will give it.
I text an animal, and then the animal texts me back.
I'm fucking freaked out by this now.
And I watch a bunch of animals on a screen.
I don't like that you've brought this into my fucking life.
Yeah,
you know?
it actually really started to freak me out. Because, you know, once I go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just end up laying on the kitchen floor. What are we?
Yeah.
What is life even?
So this is like literally true. Like sometimes at night, I'll just hear my chick going like this. Just breathe, honey. Yeah. Breathe. Everything's okay. You're just all amped up because what's been going on lately. I'm like,
I got to get talked down a lot. Talk me down.
But yes, the fact that we are animals who cook other animals with some vegetation on the side, and like you said, using the fat of another animal to make it easier
delicious.
to cook. Yeah.
That's a very strange thing for a thing that is just for sustenance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like for every other animal, it's so they don't die. I don't know if they're receiving the same amount of pleasure that we are. Well, first of all, from taste buds alone, which I think is kind of interesting, because I had this thought the other day when Birdie was begging for food. She was like really interested in what I was eating. And I was like, you don't even understand how delicious this is. You're just going to chew it up really fast and swallow it and then look at me like you got more instead of really enjoy this.
That's me with Chris.
Yes, exactly. Why you don't want to give Chris a bite of your food because it's like wasting it. But then it had me thinking, how intensely is she even capable of experiencing this food? And I don't have the numbers in my mind, but and then when I looked up the difference of taste buds, where we have so many times over the amount of taste buds on our tongue, and a dog's tongue, which in some cases larger, have like barely any taste buds. So, like,
do any animals have taste buds?
Yeah, they have it.
Decent amount of taste buds.
I don't know.
I mean,
like,
that.
What animal would be the most who would be experiencing food closely to the way humans do?
I'm going to guess right now and say lizard. Because they got a long tongue. They might as well fill it full of taste buds. But if you're even talking about eating, if you look at some things that exist, that all they do is eat and sleep. Or if you look at a bird, and a bird is spending something like 95% of their time pursuing and eating food.
Right.
There's nothing else in a bird's life.
Yeah. Even mating is just like a tiny little thing that ends up happening.
Let's do this quick so we can both get back to eating bugs.
Exactly. And then
they
I
eat
need
something
to
like 3 times their weight in bugs. So imagine how many bugs. It's not like they're finding, 3 pounds worth of fucking bugs. They're just doing that one bug at a time.
All day.
Until they hit 3 times their weight. getting a little fucking nice sleep for themselves in a stick bed.
and then back to work the next day, trying to stay alive.
The fucking fact that they have a nest just grosses me out because you've wrapped some sticks around yourself, but never one over your head. You're a moron.
Well, okay, so if you think back about the taste buds thing, you've got to figure that animals that can taste the difference of things would be so they could find out if something is rotten, so it would be bad for them,
right.
Or if this plant is poison because it has a certain flavor that is either bitter or whatever that gives them the sense. But we have adapted, I would imagine we have adapted to have specific tastes and preferences that have nothing to do with whether something is spoiled or poisoned. It's just like, I don't care for that. Like, you wouldn't have a dog that would be like, I don't like red meat.
Yeah, or not sugary enough. You know what I mean? Like,
more.
I see where you're going with this, but it's not the sugar and salt and spiciness that I prefer.
Exactly.
Well, can you imagine, like, if an animal just had something from the other side of the world that they only just used a little bit of with their food? Let me
Just
put a
a
little
dash
bit
of
of
this, and
put
then
this on the grass.
And that'll make it good for eating.
I doubt if a dog cares whether they're eating brown mustard or yellow mustard.
No,
they don't give a fuck, and that's why I can't be friends with dogs.
They seem to enjoy it, though.
I don't know if I would say that.
No, if you watch a dog eat something, they excitably devour something quickly.
Yeah.
But they're not like, they don't like lick something and be like, wow, that is
You never see a
fantastic.
dog look up at you like, oh, why are we always getting this?
They just finish it as quick as possible and then look at you with this expression like, more of that? You got more of that stuff or no?
Can I just ask you something though while you're on this? That chicken fried chicken, did you love the sweet potato with that yogurt sauce?
Yes, I did. And I really liked the way that it was prepared. Like, I thought that was a cool technique I've never done before, cutting it in half and then like having a little bit of water in the pan to kind of steam it with the foil covered
Really
it.
good.
It came out excellent.
I wish other animals would pick up on this.
And I also love anytime they use collard greens. And I don't know why we don't use it more frequently.
All right, Joe, you live at your Fight Club, right? How many guys live there?
4, 5, including myself.
Okay, 5 of them. How often, everyone write down, you guys all write down.
I love these right now.
How often they prepare meals as opposed to just going out and getting their food and eating. How many times would these young men prepare food per week?
As a group? Or just
say as a group or even just a couple, but what we would consider a meal.
Okay.
Not a sandwich that they made, not fucking cereal, but entree, side, vegetable. Something along those lines.
Okay.
So that you scratched and got out of it.
No, I made a...
Was you sandwich? Is that you considered sandwich a meal?
Yes.
I think we know not. Gail, you first?
I say a full meal with courses and I'm not courses, but like different things. 1 to 3 times weekly. That's it.
Vito.
I have 3 per week.
1.
I think you're all shooting pretty high. Joe, what do you got?
0.
That's what I thought.
All of us, 0. Our oven doesn't even work. We never prepare stuff at home.
Oh my God.
It doesn't work.
I think it's impossible for men to live together and prepare food. And I'm going to also include gay men in relationships and with children. It's still everybody on their own.
Yeah. It's like, where'd you get
I
that?
thought that you guys were crazy when you were talking 1 to 3 times per week. I couldn't even picture that.
I can't believe
Never happens.
All right.
it's 0.
Seamless is the thing here in New York.
Whoa. And what do you just get?
Yeah, we'll just get a lot of food delivered to us. We'll go out. There's so many bodegas in Brooklyn. We never prepare.
Oh, you're eating bodega food?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Like
You're one to talk.
Like you're above
Look,
that.
You know what?
Chris.
Dollar Pizza is above a bodega sandwich. And I fucking know that for a fact because I don't eat
But you
bodega
don't
sandwiches.
you don't get a sandwich from a bodega. I know you do.
Can I tell you this? The thought of a bodega buffet grosses me out. I've walked past them.
The hot bar. I don't mess with that.
No,
I don't.
I call it a hot mess. Good. You're my lady. Vito, your mommy makes you food?
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is nice.
She'll text me and ask me what I want to eat for the night.
Oh, God.
That's nice. That's sweet.
Every night, same thing, chicken parm.
Lately, it's been turkey burgers.
That's sweet.
What's wrong with beef? I have a beef burger.
You know, I could punch him because his mom was at Dice and he didn't even tell me.
I didn't want to distract anybody. She just wanted to do her own thing.
She is so cute.
Yeah, she went up to...
She's a doll.
She went up to Dice after, during the picture taking, and she goes, shakes his hand and goes, "You're very talented. You deserve all the sex. You deserve all the success you've gotten over the years."
That's
nice. That is so cute. She's a sweet lady.
She is a sweet, sweet lady.
Sweet lady.
And she takes care of Vito. Turkey burgers tonight. Big J texted me about Iron Maiden about an hour. Well, no, 10 minutes ago, but I didn't see it. And then he remembered one of the guys in the band. So he's like, fuck it. Shit. And he's like, shit, fuck. Alex wants to point something out to us. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, guys. Just got to say I'm a big fan. Going back to the taste bud conversation, actually, catfish have roughly 20 times more taste buds than human beings.
What? Catfish?
Bull, come on.
The only thing I've ever seen anybody catch them with is, oh no, I had them fucking confused with a shark, a carp.
That's all right.
You can't catch a catfish in your arm.
When you have
when you think about their environment, they can't really see very well, so they gotta search out. Most
Did you ever
of their
have
food
when
by
you got
taste.
into an aquarium when you were a kid? They give you a catfish that you have to have because they eat the shit of the other fish.
Oh, they're shit eaters?
Yeah,
they're bottom feeders.
Yeah, they're prison guards. They are the prison guard of the aquarium world, a shit eater.
So they're the ones who are chilling at the bottom, and then they like suck up all the rocks with the crap on it, and then they like vomit it back out.
Yeah, and then they eat that.
Horrible.
And they're tasting every bit of it.
The fact that Alex knows this means he's getting a pretty good prize.
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize. Prize Closet. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize. Prize Closet. We have good prizes.
Alex. Hey. Nice catfishing, buddy. For that, you won the signed DVD. I'm not fat. I'm fluffy. Signed by Gabriel Iglesias.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Sweet. I think Gabriel has a big tour coming up. By the way, tonight, Caroline's. Sweet, sweet show, my friend.
Kurt Metzger's performing tonight at 7:30 p.m. at Caroline's Comedy Club here in New York City. You go to carolines.com for tickets.
There's Kurt Metzger.
Dun, 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 dun.
His boy, Elroy. Look, this guy looks like he's doing a fucking character on TV. Like, that's the only wig you could get before you did this?
That's Kamau Bell.
You're a fucking racist, dude. Why did you duck? Have I ever hit you? He ducked like I was coming in to punch him.
He does do that a lot.
I'm just a sexy baby.
Why do you say that, Chris?
Because, I want to turn people on.
That's true. That's true, he does.
He does.
He's
and
the
it's
catfish.
working. Pretty good prize. Pretty good prize. Anyway, we learned quite a bit about catfish today.
We did.
Still want to know why they love shit.
I want to know why you talk shit.
And smell like shit.
Come on. I didn't take a shower, but whatever. It's fine.
Speaking of, I shouldn't even put this. Maybe we can tweet it out because someone sent it to me, but it's years old. Chris, just go to YouTube and find kid eating onion. And this is, I believe, the greatest thing that I've ever seen. There he is. This is a Russian kid, right?
Okay.
Now watch him. He's holding a thing like an apple. Look at his little face while he's eating it. Look at that. He's sweating.
Why is he going in for another bite? This is insane. What? He's crying. He's just trying to power through. Going in for a third bite. Why? Oh my God. It's like making my chest burn just watching him.
Look at his little bruiser face, though.
He's just like heavy breathing.
I watched this for pretty much 45 minutes last night. Is he adorable?
That is so hilarious. Why is he doing that to himself?
He loves an onion. And he probably is too little to understand there's a connection between his eyes and nose running and that onion. He just thinks, oh, too bad. Just when I'm enjoying this onion, everything in my face is running down.
I can't believe he just keeps jumping in for more.
Who are you texting with?
He's texting Joe.
Why?
So he had to make sure he had a phone number.
Oh my God, are you still in the Kurt thing? He'll call. You can't produce during the show, Chris. That's something you're supposed to take care of off air.
Pre or post.
Not during.
During is when we watch this kid eat an onion. That's what we're doing with this time.
How bad off are they in Russia? There's handing out onions to children.
How's that bad off?
I don't know. The kid would prefer an apple, I would think.
How do you see what he prefers? He prefers an onion, and he's sitting there over a pot of onions too.
Yeah.
If you notice, he reached in there and grabbed the pot for himself.
I'd slap that.
I will say the poor thing of look how his little bed is in this parents' room.
Aww.
Although Chris Stanley didn't even get that. He got couch.
Now, look at this kid's haircut. This is a common haircut for a child, but it would never exist on an adult.
That's true.
It's just like you've taken the hair and you've just cut a circle so that they can see from their face, and then everything else is left. No adult has ever had that haircut.
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't think little kids, their hair has been trained properly yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, an adult, their hair won't just fall down in their face. Look at all of us.
Yeah.
No one is in danger of our bangs just hanging straight down. But it happens with little boys all the time.
I like the fact that little boys have bangs. It's just so funny. It's like they just cut a window out, but then they keep the length otherwise.
Can't remember where it came up that everyone's their chick, all of them had bangs. I don't know who it got said about. It's driving me crazy right now. But someone said that and it fucking cracked me up.
So this person is a serial bang dater?
Yeah, I guess. They didn't even know it. They didn't know that she bangs.
Yeah.
She bangs. She bangs.
It's on the bang bus.
Yeah. Out on the bang bus. Fucking banging those chicks for money. I'm talking shit to them. Look at you little fucking whore.
Like getting fucked on a bus.
But dude, I just fucking met you halfway here. Now you're calling me names.
I'm so nice that I agreed to come onto your vessel and
a bang.
I'll leave this bus if that's the way you're going to talk, mister.
No, you'll ruin the whole film if you do that. Vanessa Hudgens, remember she's the one who carved her name into, million-year-old rock in the Arizona National Park. I think she's got to come up with $5,000 before this thing goes away.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm going to be honest here. I think that's a fucking deal for her. Because what she's done, taking something in a national park that is for all of us and scratch you and your shitty lover's name into it.
Yeah. And you guys won't even be together next summer?
I put this right up with spray painting a fucking white tiger at the zoo. It just really annoys me.
Yeah, it's incredibly immature. I mean, I know she was trying to be Rizzo. She was trying to be a wild girl.
She also said her dad died, so she's not thinking well. But still.
She should fight it.
Someone I saw the day, right? Oh, well, it's just a rock. I'm like, that's why we fucking go to that park for those rocks. Right there. That's what it's all about.
It's like a rock park. It's the whole point.
I'm a rock, I'm an island. Up on the iBang today, too, the story of, once again, a blowback on a comedian, Ralphie May, did his fuck a bunch of Indians joke and got canceled from, I believe it was a theater or a casino where a lot of Indians lived in that area, and they're all mad. And by the way, the person who put this up and got everybody going is also a comedian, and then she put up on her Facebook, look, this is his act. He's got to live and die with it.
So this is a comedian who put it out, and a comedian who said, this is a horrible thing that this person said. Like, she not only put it out there, but she also started the conversation on it. It wasn't just like a clip.
Yeah, I think she has like a lot of Native American fans or Indians.
Sure.
Which means, I don't know, something good. But it's just constant in this country.
It is constant, yeah. And there's no hope for saying it is within the context of a comedy show.
Apparently, this thing was in a rap song, and that was sampled, and she pulled that out and put it up, and that's it. You know,
right?
I don't know what kind of crazy fucking rap song, the anti-Indian rap song. Hey, everybody, Kurt Metzger on the line. He's got a big show tonight.
He's performing tonight at 7:30 p.m. at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets.
By the way, Liz Sets Fire let me know that it was Ant who all his chicks had crazy bangs over the years. All right, here is our buddy Kurt. Kurt, how you feeling, pal?
Oh my God, like shit. How you feeling, man?
I feel like I never get sick. You know
really?
why?
That's what I was saying that just before I just got sick. I was saying how I never get sick, but I got deathly ill.
I could easily go in and eat off a table that had MRSA on it and still not. I don't know what it is. I guess it's like that movie Unbreakable.
I'm the same way that I don't fear germs, but then when I do end up getting sick, I was like, what did I do? Why did it happen?
Well, I thought I got food poison, but then someone told me there's something going around that's like lasts a couple of days. But I just woke up in the middle of the night, just shooting out of both ends. It was brutal.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, God.
That's the fucking worst.
Yeah, so I'm going to OD on Imodium and go do my Caroline show tonight, hopefully.
Make it through that. Everybody come out, sit in at least the fourth row, and enjoy this show.
Yeah, I would say bring a tarp, and it could be like a Gallagher show.
Oh.
Diarrhea.
That's the funniest thing, that they would actually provide the tarp to people.
Right.
Here's your tarp.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened with Ralph? First of all, when I was on hold, I heard someone is spray painting white tigers, and then Ralphie May.
Well, here's Ralphie. Let's play his bit. So, Kurt, this was so offensive that they canceled him from his gig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck a bunch of Indians. I'm sick of hearing about it. We supposed to boo-hoo over goddamn Indians. The shit was 120 years ago. Fucking get over it. Nobody fucking 150 years ago is making you drink now. Fucking dry up, you fucking bunch of alcoholics, and go get a real fucking job. Cut that fucking hair. Bon Jovi cut his. You should cut yours. This shit is done, son. It's done. Fuck you bunch of Indians. Fuck the Indians. I'm sorry they as a group never made it to the Bronze Age. I'm sorry they never invented the motherfucking wheel. I'm sorry. Boo hoo 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 hoo. Boo fucking hoo. Fuck the Indians. Maybe if they had done some of that shit, we would have taken their country with 3 smallpox blankets and a bag of beads. Fuck a bunch of Indians. Fuck.
So that bit, I believe it's called "Fuck a Bunch of Indians," has now.
Well, what's offensive about that? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, he said, this is always a funny thing, you did not hear it in the context of what it was. I can't imagine, you know.
Wait, hold on a second. This was from like 2007, this bit?
Yeah, I think the bit has been around, and then she just put it up on her Facebook.
Yeah.
And she
Who put it on her Facebook though? Who's
well,
that?
I got to get the comedian's name. Chris, do you have it?
It's Chalepa. Is Adrian Chalepa.
Yeah. Well, she's good.
Adrian Chalepa. I don't know who that is. How do you spell Chalepa?
CHALE.
In my case, I never do. I never do spell it.
Wait. How do I spell it? CHA what?
LEPAH.
CAA. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is she Indian or something?
Yeah, she's part of a certain tribe, and the tribe got pissed off. They called ahead to his gigs. This is the latest thing that people do.
Right.
It's not say we think somebody stinks, but they call ahead to the gig that they weren't going to go to anyway, and then complain, and then the gig gets canceled.
Where? And his gig was where? Someplace out of heavy native.
Yeah, somewhere out west.
Minnesota.
Exactly.
It's weird that now he would be getting in trouble for something from 2007.
Yeah, I don't think people care. Like when they find out about it, when they don't care when you stomped on the cake. They're just hearing it now, and that's when they get pissed.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, and with social media, it's not a thing until it gets shared,
right?
And
blows
then
up.
And then once it becomes part of the conversation, everybody frenzies on that one thing until they don't care anymore. I mean, how many of these issues a year later still hurt their feelings or upset them enough to speak as passionately as they do the first time they see the clip or whatever the thing is?
Well, I mean, that bit was horribly stupid from him, but I will say, I mean, first of all, if you could wave a magic wand and take back colonialism, like, would you do it? Because if you wouldn't, then shut up. Like I wouldn't wave a wand and, make us never have come here, because I like living here. So I'm not going to be like a hypocrite and be like, oh, colonialism. I mean, I'm sitting here now enjoying it, but I don't know. Like, is his thing like he's not doing like the hypocrisy of where you pretend you're sorry for what happened?
Well, this is also an interesting thing of his hypocrisy, because I went to the YouTube page itself, and when you look down at the people that are offended by him, what they talk about is how fat he is, right?
Right.
So the fat thing is acceptable, to deal with, but not the Native American thing.
Why, he's as fat as an Indian eating American canned goods.
See, that's the thing. But it's every day. Somebody is just so furious,
Well, the pendulum's going to swing back the other way. I mean, look, I think that bit's like dumb, and it's very like I don't like the confidence where he's saying that dumb shit's kind of irritating. But who cares? It was 2007. Like, so what? And who gives a shit how he feels about it? Like, why would you need any kind of like retribution for that? I don't even understand.
Well, he does, have a microphone, and then he also has social media. So I think the second that you have social media, you set yourself up to debate all the time.
Right.
That's why I don't have an account. I'm not going to fucking debate what I do.
Right, yeah. Let me see. So wait, he's about to perform in what is it? How do you say that? Bemidji country?
Bemidji.
Oh, Bemidji. Is that a tribe, Bemidji?
Yes.
Oh, only in Minnesota?
Yeah, it's a northern Minnesota tribe. And it's one of the towns where Fargo took place in.
Now, here's the thing about those tribes. Did they start there, or did they get forced up there?
They're native to that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bemidji is a native tribe to that area.
This is what's stupid about this girl. She goes, I joke about my drunk auntie all the time. I joke about casinos. Basically, it's like she's allowed to make the joke, but he can't. Go fuck yourself with that. I hate that shit. That's like your well torn, run dry. Unbelievable.
It's always funny to me that everybody is cool about everything until it comes close to theirs. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, people are always saying stuff like, don't do jokes about blind people. My uncle's blind. So that's the reason,
right?
That's
it affects me personally, and that's what I care about.
You just made me think about my uncle.
Right. I'm going to read what she's saying. She goes, we see this every day with our high police brutality rates, our high suicide rates, our high rape rate. We don't need anyone with a national platform implying we need to get over it. They do kind of got to get over it. Because you know why those rates are so high is They get to be like a sovereign nation within the nation. So they get policed by their own, and it ends up being like a disaster. Like, it's not the same laws as like everybody else has. They get their own special ones. That sucks. In fact, I got a friend named Dustin Schaefer, who's a comic. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. He might be Chickasaw or something. I can't remember what tribe he's from. But he could go live on the reservation. You know, he's got the card and everything. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I want to go live in New York and, you know, try to do something with myself because that sucks living out there. I don't know why. I think the way to, like, really fix it is they should, like, colonize, like, Williamsburg, Brooklyn and sell meth to the white people. That's how you do it. You open up a bunch of restaurants and you sell fire powder to the white man.
Well, what do you think is the best thing, to keep your own culture, no matter who you are, or assimilate? You know what I mean? Just completely.
You assimilate and make restaurants and shit. That's how you do it. Like, I mean, that's the smartest way to do it. I wouldn't try to, like, keep your own. I mean, it's over, basically, as far as, like, trying to have a nation.
Yeah, well, originally the idea is that they started to say, you know, the melting pot would be the best scenario for people of other cultures coming to live in the same space. But then,
what it is.
Yeah, but then they also say, then they like revised that idea and called it the salad bowl, which is like you still can keep your individuality, or you can keep your culture. You can assimilate in the way that everyone is able to be in the same space with each other, but still be able to practice the things you want to practice and maintain the things.
How is that different from the? I don't understand how that's different from the melting pot, and I also don't understand. See, this is a new thing now, where because all this identity politics or shit. People are expressly against that idea of like all mingling together and like we're all, you know, that's where you hear this cultural appropriation bullshit, where it's like, don't wear my people's hat. And it's nonsense. Who gives a shit about your fucking hat? First of all, I don't give a fuck about your identity, and I don't understand why I'm supposed to, you know, it's usually people without a personality or who care about having an identity.
I actually never saw anyone more into cultural appropriation than Ralphie May, too. I mean, he's literally doing someone else's culture on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, when that thing came up, when that thing came up about dreadlocks, where they said white people can't wear dreadlocks, I immediately said, "Well, you're wearing pants." You wouldn't have fucking...
That's my go-to thing, too. No more pants.
Yeah, you would have never fucking come up with pants.
Yeah. But when I talk to people about this, and this is supposed to be a new generational thing, because I was, my friend Yamanika, who's a funny comic, I don't know if you know her, Yamanika Saunders, but we were talking about dreadlocks. Now, I remember in my high school, there were white people with dreadlocks. No one thought that. We all hated the white kids with dreadlocks. Like,
sure.
Except for the other kids with dreadlocks like them, but I always thought that sucked. And some people have this idea that it's like cool when white people do it. Like there's this unfair thing where it's okay for white people to have dreadlocks, but not black people. Just so you know, nobody thought white people with dreadlocks was cool. No one thought that. And I don't know where these people got that idea.
The big one right now is cornrows and then afros. The idea of white people doing that for whatever reason is infuriating.
Afros is just, I mean, I've seen afros can occur naturally on white people.
Yeah.
If they're Jewish enough. And then cornrows just look like shit on everyone. Cornrows are possibly the shittiest hair. I despise cornrows.
To me, though, I think it's great to have any haircut that can anger people when you're young. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a haircut that makes older people angry, that's fucking more power to you. Go ahead, go for it.
By the way, it's only females that care about cultural appropriation. I've never seen, like, when people complain about, what's that white rapper with the fat ass, an Australian chick? Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that's cultural appropriation, her black wet. It's only women that say that. Like, she got put on by a male rapper. Like all the male hip hop stars, I never hear that complain about that, and it's like a girl thing to care about that because it's like style related. So like you're taking my style, that's my identity, my stupid cornrow. Shut up.
Well,
if your identity is based on hair, I mean, you suck.
You know, the one that started it was the girl yelling at the kid in college, you know, and all that. I kind of feel like college is where that's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where you have those stupid debates.
Yeah, but
it's not supposed to be real, though.
I like the idea, too, of anybody It's a very weird thing to have pride in your race or your culture, like your heritage, and to claim that as your own accomplishment. To stand there, first of all, you're a person in college, you're a young person, and you're going to say, like, that's mine, I have that. Well, you didn't fucking invent that either. That's not yours. That's not your personal property.
Well,
why do you feel that way?
You can't steal. First of all, there's no way to steal. Well, although I will say this, the Native Americans, they did have their culture stolen in that, you know, I first of all, the colonialism, that's what everybody did back then, so I don't have any remarkable guilt about that. But what they did in the 30s to the Indians is really fucked up, because what they did was they put them in these schools, and they're like, you can't speak your own language anymore, you got to speak English. And they would, like, beat them for trying to keep any of their traditions. That's stealing a culture to me. But if I wear cornrows, not that I would, and you have cornrows, I'm not stealing that from you. You can still wear your cornrows.
Right.
It's just I have it too. And maybe it's not as cool as it used to be because now I have it. I get that, but that's not theft. That's just taking away the, the coolness of what you have. But so what? That's how style works.
I will agree with you too that the weird thing is we forced, kind of Christianity onto people who weren't, and yet a lot of those people are the most Christian ever. You know what I mean? Like black people are definitely the most Christian people in this country.
Well,
and could you call that cultural appropriation then? If they,
I do.
Yeah, that would not have been
You don't understand. That's not cultural appropriation. Is only white people. It's like this. It's part of that whole new critical race theory shit. So, like, if black people have anything from the white man, that's fine. But it's just if this is something like some college kids would come up with to, number one, insulate themselves from any criticism. I mean, you've heard the thing like only white people can be racist and no one else can be. Well, that nonsense. That it's all part of the same thing.
Well, the thing that bugs me as well, particularly when you're talking about it in terms of, for whatever reason, it's so closely related to hair that there's this sweet spot where you're supposed to be. You can't take their culture away from them, but if their culture is a mystery, then you're ignorant. So you can't be like, what is that type of hair and why are you and I different?
Right, and you're not allowed to ask.
Exactly.
That's putting a burden. But this is all a new. That's critical race theory. It's all from that. And I guess that's what's popular in colleges now. It trickles into the mainstream. But it's just like it's like this kind of gibberish. But look, that Ralphie May bit utterly sucks. I mean, like it was kind of a stupid, ignorant thing to say. But who cares? He said it in 2007, and then somebody put it in a rap album or something, and then this became a thing. I mean, I agree with that girl that it's not funny. It's not. I just don't see why people have to be stopped from speaking because they weren't funny one time. I just don't get that part of it.
Yeah, that's always the bizarre part of it. It's up to you whether you consider it funny. It's a whole different thing when you call a place and try to make sure that nobody else hears it. That's what weirds me out.
Isn't that the best thing about being able to say, this sucks and this I'm into? Like, you get to choose, and now you have decided. Why would you want to be the person who takes that away from anyone?
Kurt Metzger's performing tonight, 7:30 p.m. at Caroline's Comedy Club here in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets and follow him on Twitter at Kurt Metzger.
Yeah, and wear a raincoat in case I have an accident on stage.
Oh, God.
No.
Kurt, great to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
I'll see you soon, and good luck at Caroline's tonight. Kurt Metzger, everybody loves him. He's great. He's funny. He's the best. He's Kurt Metzger. Let's break real quick. Come back and wrap it up. Bennington. Good show. Just getting close to the last of the Jim Norton tickets. Selling out, unmasked Jim Norton, Tuesday, April 19th at the Village Underground. Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets. That's the ibang.com for free tickets. Here's Justin. What's up, buddy?
Hello?
Yeah, how are you, pal?
Hey, man. So about this whole, Ralphie May thing, I don't agree with what the native comic, what she did. Like, I am also a native comic and open micer, but, it's just, it doesn't allow for the, what Patrice O'Neal used to say about it is basically how I feel about it.
Which is?
which is like if I can't say, you know, bad things about you, then you can't say bad things about me. So like then you can't, you know, well, like jokingly, of course.
Oh, it's a totally different situation. I don't think Patrice would want to see comedians have their work stopped because you don't like them.
Oh, no. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's the way he said it that like offends me, not the content. It's just like it wasn't said, you know, the way like you're supposed to say these things, like, you know, like from a loving place. That's all.
Well, I mean, like that's the same idea as, you know, you might not find it funny, but do you defend somebody's right to make jokes about whatever they want? You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good joke.
I'll defend the attempt. Yeah, I'll defend the attempt.
Let me tell you something. I don't find anything as disgusting as slasher films. I've never liked them. I don't understand anything about it. I don't understand the fans that go to see it. But I have no problem that it's all done. You know what I mean?
Right. And if one shows up late at night on TV, you don't want to call someone to be like, I shouldn't have to click on this.
I shouldn't have come across this. I have other channels.
Yeah, so you're saying it's more just like going out and seeking this type of like old bullshit, right?
Well, I mean, Ralphie has his own audience that isn't you, right? I don't think they're a hateful audience.
Yeah. And I'll agree with that 100%. It's just, it was the attempt. I'd say it was a bad attempt.
Oh, we all agree. None of us sat there and laughed at the bit. We didn't think it worked. We get it. And maybe Ralphie was taking it of, isn't this an outrageous thing to say?
Yeah,
and
I think he was going for the shock, you know, the shock laugh.
And what's wrong with that?
It's like the whole, God, what's his name? The guy from Seinfeld who dropped the M-bomb a bunch of times. You know, like, he was going for shock laughs, but at the end of the day, it was fucking horrible. But,
I don't even know if he was going for laughs. I think he was just like trying to
pissed off and trying to hurt the person.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
and you can even make an argument that you know if that's in your if you're able to say that, if you have that in the chamber, I understand. But I think what he was doing, he definitely wasn't going for laughs. I think he was pissed and he was just trying to gain the room back with power, whether it worked or it didn't. And it didn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he tried to gain the room back. I think he was just flipping the fuck out.
Right.
But also, black comedians do that every night. Why is that okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are all kinds of double standards, you know, in this industry, and it's just a matter of addressing them. And I don't think what this girl did, you know, digging up the past like this just to like, you know, kind of propel her, you know, career forward wasn't, you know, the right thing to do.
I only have one problem with any of it, and that's calling the place and getting them fired by people who weren't going to the place anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only part of that bugs me.
Yeah. You know, I agree with that. And the only part that bugs me is just, the hateful tone, I guess. And,
But listen, go to the webpage itself and look at the hateful tone. There's very few people breaking this down of why they think that it's offensive on his YouTube page. They're just calling him fat and pig and want to go, you know. So don't act like you hate the fact that people that get offended, because I'm sure every overweight person in the country could go, see, there's a fucking prejudice against us, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like, I used to be fat too, man, so I can feel the pain on that.
All right, well, have best of luck with your attempts to shut down comedy. I think it's just fantastic what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'll be happy never to hear anybody.
Good with my open mics.
Yeah.
Anyway, shutting it down.
I'd do anything I could to stop every open mic in the country. I don't even like closed mic comedy, to be honest. No one
gets the mic.
And when are your closed nights? So they're completely closed. I'll come to that.
I'll go to a night that's slightly ajar. The mic is a little bit open.
Just one person can come up. We saw this guy on Monday. He's pretty good. Let's give him a chance. Well, there's Ralphie. Making himself relevant again.
He's in the conversation.
Yep. He's there.
Good.
Congratulations.
You did it.
Well, really, she did. She brought him back up.
How about when Chris had to come up with her name, and he just struggled with it?
It's a hard to pronounce name. Adrian Chalepa.
By the way, remember when Joe told us that was the name of a tribe? People have been writing in, he's an idiot. That's the name of a town, and here's the tribe's name.
It's the name of both.
Joe, I expect you to be right 100% of the time.
I mean, this is about Minnesota.
I feel 100%
the only thing we ever
right.
go to you for is Minnesota talk. I can't believe there's that much.
Minnesota and butts. That's what you do.
Well, I know butts pretty well.
Really? That's your thing?
Yeah, I like butts.
Hairy male butts?
No, like taut women's butts.
Then you should go out of your way to define that. Because I like butts, I think they mean all.
Every butt.
I assumed he only liked dudes' butts. That's when they said that. That's what I assumed.
Instagram butts, magazine butts, TV butts, women,
Tumblr butts.
Yeah, I'll throw Tumblr in that mix.
Is Tumblr even the internet?
Yeah, it's the internet,
It
but
is.
it's a lot of GIFs. It's mostly GIFs and women posting GIFs.
I've never understood it, and anytime that something links to a Tumblr, I'm very confused about the format. I don't know
Yeah, you
what
can
it
format a
is.
Tumblr any way you want.
Give us something on Tumblr.
Give me a Tumblr because it's formatted in a way that I'm very confused what
Yeah,
it is.
You should be. That's the confuse. I'm looking at it now.
And then, but sometimes there's the comments, and then they like cascade in a certain fashion that I don't really know
You can
who's
format
replying.
however you want. It's like
Yeah,
an
you
open
keep
format.
saying that over.
Yeah,
and over.
I know. Yeah,
You're not
a few
defining
times.
anything by
But there
saying
is like
the same words.
there's got to be like because I've seen some of them and they look a very specific way. It's very confusing to me. There's like cascading.
Oh, God.
comments.
Hillary's on a subway
Come on!
to prove she's one of us.
Oh.
And by the way, her face was so excited, like she was on a roller coaster.
She's doing it.
And then Bernie Sanders said something stupid. They brought up to him.
How'd you get on the subway?
Excuse me, you tell it, Chris.
Oh, they asked, the Daily News asked you, how do you get on the subway?
And then he said, use a token. So he says you buy a token, and you get on the subway. Meaning he hasn't been in New York in probably 13 years.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been, 2002 or 3 maybe when we stopped that?
Which,
Philly
by the
still
way, I was
rocks the
sad about it.
token.
Yeah, they should. They're not doing as much fucking, weight as we're doing around here. You know?
I liked the token.
I love the token.
It was nice to have
It's like
them
you have a
on
little
your,
change in your pocket going jang-a-lang-a-lang.
and then you could be like, oh, well, this is my emergency token.
Yeah, but you don't have that anymore. And I hate anything that runs out after a month.
Right. If it expires, it's fair. The
It's
Metro
unfair.
card was annoying. And I find them to be just difficult to get out quickly.
Right.
Token seems like you just chuck it in there.
I don't like anything that makes me go into my wallet, because then there's more chances other cards will fall off. I want a wallet, be like, serious? For the wallet? Because I'll keep my cash up front,
Sure. But you don't want to get into that.
Yeah, I have a license, I got my credit, that's it. I got my picture of Steve Carlton in there. That's what I'm using a wallet for. Important stuff. All right, we got to get ready to wrap this one up, correct, Chris?
Yes.
So tomorrow we will not be doing Opie Radio in the morning. We'll just be doing our regular show.
Yeah.
Great.
And the Dice Unmasked is airing tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Great.
And Kurt Metzger is performing tonight, 7:30 p.m. at Caroline's Comedy Club here in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets.
I think that's going to be a funny show.
Oh, yeah.
Anything could happen.
And probably will. That's it for us. We started with Almost Famous one today.
Yeah.
We end with Almost Famous. The famous scene, they just go and get him. They bring him back on the bus. And then the manager of the band steps out in front of the children of Kansas and says this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!